been a hectic season so far for UMass Boston women's hockey. First, they had a new head coach installed less than 2 weeks before the season opener. Then they proceeded with a near even mix of wins and losses, of one-goal nail-biters and runaway blowouts. Now they face the juggernaut, the Elmira College Eagles, still undefeated well into November. Live from Edward T. Berry Ice Rink in Boston, Massachusetts, I'm Milton Posner here with Matt Meisenbacher. You're watching UMass Boston hockey on the Beacon Broadcasting Network. And just to kick off with, there was a game yesterday right here in the same rink. UMass Boston going up against William Smith College, and it was a little bit of a messy game, a little bit of a sloppy game, Matt, but they ultimately got those important 3 points.
It was one of those weird hockey games. You kept waiting for the lid to come off, and it never quite did. It was just a little bit of back and forth the entire night. Now, fortunately for the Beacons, they escaped with a 2-1 win. An amazing goal by Kozik. She was able to go around a defender and beat the goaltender in what seemed like 2 or 3 strides, and that was enough to get the win. They're going to need more than that today against the Soaring Eagles. This is a very strong hockey club. 2 girls on the top line that are well above a point per game. They are really going to have to bring their best effort here today.
And we're going to talk a little bit more about those two later in the pregame. We're going to talk about yesterday's game a little bit more. But this is the first ever meeting against Elmira. UMass Boston coming in here with a 3-3 record. As you can see, Elmira still undefeated overall and in conference. They are ranked number 5 in the latest national poll. What do the Beacons have to do to put themselves in a position to upset this kind of dynamo?
Yeah, anybody that's been that's played a sport and you're outmatched to this level on paper knows you've got to keep it close. That's going to be the name of the game. They're going to get their opportunities. You just got to limit the grade of those opportunities. And I think from what I saw from Victoria Kennedy last night, she looked pretty solid. You know, it was a little bit of a tough start with her rebounds, but after that, she was locked in and really held down the fort. So I think if I'm the Beacons, it's going to be a defensive focus. We're going to have to capitalize when we get our power plays and when we get our scoring opportunities, but ultimately the game is going to be in our defensive zone. We've got to allow our goaltender to see the puck, and if we can do that and limit their grade A opportunities, we might have a chance tonight.
We're going to throw you to some highlights from yesterday's game. Like we mentioned, it was a 2-1 win, UMass Boston over William Smith College, and then we're going to preview the rest of this one. And we're back. We're going to give you a quick look at some of the team stats here for both of these squads so you can see how they stack up against each other. Matt, what's standing out to you among these stats other than how dominant Elmira seems to have been?
Yeah, goals per game stands right out. I mean, almost 5.5, 6 goals a game. That's a lot, and that goes back to what we talked about just a few minutes ago. Limiting those opportunities is going to be crucial. I think the power play percentage too is high, 40%. I mean, usually coaches are happy somewhere between 25 to 30%. 40 is outstanding. So obviously a team that's strong offensively and is going to get their opportunities today one way or another.
We're going to take a look at the team leaders here for both of these squads, who is leading the way. And on the Elmira side, you mentioned Eliza Bowden, you mentioned Emma Crocker, and they're coming through clearly on the scoring side. And on the UMass Boston side, Kozik featuring as prominently as anyone. Yeah,
Kozik a little bit of a surprise. She's been gifted offensively, but I think over a point per game to start this season, she's been a nice complement to Leffler and to Ryan. And I think more to come for that young talent.
We go now to the players to watch. On the UMass Boston side, it's Victoria Kennedy, wearing number 31 in white. Started a little bit slow in yesterday's game, gave up a goal that she'd very much like to have back. It was kind of an unforced error there, and played very well from there on out.
Yeah, I liked what I've seen. I mean, don't forget, I mentioned a few times, but she was not on the team last year. This is all still new to her, and I think she's really found her own. I hope she got a lot of fluids last night. I project probably somewhere in the 40s in terms of total shots on goal, maybe even higher when it's all said and done. I hope she's well rested and has enough energy to make it through. But from what we've seen so far in the season, I've liked what I've seen for number 31.
Taking a look at the goalie matchup, her opposite, Leonie Kuberger, who has been one of those goalies where the only reason they're not leading the conference in shots is because they don't see that many of them. The defense doesn't let it through. But when they have, I mean, the numbers speak for themselves. You can look at this goals against average under a goal per game. This is going to be, even if you generate the shots, what's going to be the key to getting under, or to getting around a goalie this good?
Yeah, the thing for me is you notice the FR there, freshman, right? And so that can also be a double-edged sword. Obviously, the statistics speak for themselves, but as you mentioned, hasn't been tested, right? And so if the Beacons can test her, there might be some tests on her mental fortitude as well. That would be something that I'd be keying in on. Is not a ton of experience at this level of hockey, and if we can rattle her, as they like to say, we might be able to, break her down early on in this hockey game. It remains to be seen. Statistically, she's very strong, but that would be something I would try to focus on as a Beacon player.
We can take a look now at the starting lines for Elmira College. That top line, the captain, Eliza Bowden on the left wing, Emma Crocker in the middle, Morgan Mordini forming a top line. All of them have 69 or more points in their career. The first two in that list have more than a point per game throughout their careers, both of them seniors. On the defensive side, Jenny Heath and Katie Manning in front of Kuberger. For the UMass Boston Beacons, take a look at the lines here.
Victoria Kennedy, sophomore goalie, Winthrop, Massachusetts.
Hi, my name is Anna Gustafson. I'm a freshman. I play center, and I'm from Clarkston, Michigan.
Katie Leffler, senior forward, Key Largo, Florida.
Addie Buddington, junior defenseman, Winnetka, Illinois.
Jane Angel, senior forward, Madison, Wisconsin.
Kelsey Ryan, senior forward, Burlington, Massachusetts.
We're just about ready for puck drop here. UMass Boston facing their toughest challenge of the season. They went up against a Norwich team that still hasn't lost in conference. But Elmira is the juggernaut. Elmira is the giant. So far, their first season here in the New England Hockey Conference. We can talk about their recent history a little bit later on, but suffice to say they have been dominant.
They have.
For years and years.
Some energy coming off the bench to start. I mean, you take a look at Elmira, this is an away game for them. They've got a few fans here. I'm noticing some purple and gold in the stands, and some energy off that bench. The Beacons, that was one thing I thought they could have improved upon as well. I thought the energy was lacking a little bit last night. They're going to need it here today.
And away we go. Elmira in their road purple jerseys with the white and gold trim. UMass Boston in their home whites with the blue and black trim. Kicks it immediately into the offensive zone. Ejects it just wide of the left post. An aggressive forecheck right off the bat here for the Beacons.
Agreed, and remains to be seen if they'll stick with that. That could be a kind of a show it and then take it away type of strategy. Be interesting to see if they stay with that all game.
Kennedy steers it wide. It's loose right behind the post. Squirts over to the far side. Now back up top. Elmira getting some sustained offensive zone time and a whistle on the play. We're going to have our first change here, but 45 seconds in. We didn't get a chance to do our keys to the game, but what would you say is a couple of the keys that UMass Boston's got to focus on, especially coming after last night's contest?
Yeah, keeping it close as long as possible. I mean, I think you've got the advantage. You're on home ice here. You know, and Elmira's never played in this rink before, so some people might see that as a little bit futile of a point, but it really does go a long way when you're in your own locker room, you're sleeping in your own bed. I'd say they take advantage of that here early before Elmira has a chance to get their legs.
That one's fired in, sticked away there by the UMass Boston defense. As Margot butters out in front of the net. And Elmira controls behind. One-timer in front, and a nice stop there by Kennedy.
One thing Beacons can't do is chase the puck. And a nice read there.
Oh, and a chance here on the breakaway. And no, it's chipped. They all caught up.
Yeah, a little bit out of steam there for Liz Cramp. But I liked her game last night. That was that second line that really, I thought, had the best of what the Beacons put forward. A chance here.
Centering pass goes awry there. UMass Boston trying to control. But Elmira will swing it the other way. Dump off pass here. A little bit of sloppy play here from the Eagles. Get running into each other now. But they will keep it in their offensive zone. Side of the boards now, back pass Elfring. UMass Boston trying to clear, but Elmira keeps possession. UMass Boston lost the possession game in the first period last night and didn't really suffer too badly for it. They're not going to be able to make the same mistakes here today.
No, and I think chasing, right? We saw a little bit last night of them chasing the puck around and not having enough anticipation. That play's going to be offside. That's something they will get burned on today if they find themselves chasing the puck too often. This team just is too good, passes the puck too well for the Beacons to be chasing all night. And so far, this is fine. You can't get frustrated with having, this is going to be a defensive game for the Beacons. You can't get frustrated having to play defense all that often. If they can stick with what they're doing here so far, I know it's early, but so far I think the strategy's working. They're keeping it kind of on the perimeter so far.
Sabrina Schwartzman swings it wide. Jenny Heath now comes over to the near side. Elmira keeps in the neutral zone. Dumps down below the goal line and will chase. As UMass Boston recovers, pass out and a chance to break out. Instead, they'll opt for a line change. Platoon swap there. Elmira keeps its skaters on the ice. Schwartzman got a little bit of open space to work in the neutral zone here. She'll dump it down and chase after it. Fighting for it with Liz Cramp on the boards. UMass Boston doing a better job in the early going, denying Elmira the opportunities. Another dump down here by Corinne Tretchell. She'll slide off the ice. Now UMass Boston on the front foot. Immediate giveaway to the Eagles. Looking to break out. They've got a chance here. Who's going to get to it first? It's UMass Boston.
Chance, I think, on D there.
Battle in the neutral zone here. Squirts down below the opposite goal line. Been a while since we've seen a good shot on goal from either squad. 4.5 minutes gone here. Still no score from the Edward T. Berry ice rink. Game Elmira is heavily favored to win. UMass Boston looking for what would be a season-defining upset over the Eagles. And now a chance. It's Claire Meter swerving into the slot, losing control of the puck, and UMass Boston trying to eject. Seems like Elmira's having a little bit of difficulty timing the breakouts here. Keep getting people going 1-on-2, 1-on-3 to little success. McCafferty with a shot there, a nice sliding stop by Kennedy.
Yeah, good save. Yeah, I'd agree with you. I think part of that is the Beacons are keeping everyone really far back off that blue line. Usually teams, when they're on that rush, will feel the attack right around the defensive blue line, and it looks like the Beacons are willing to give that up, but as long as they've got people back, they're okay.
Battle behind the net here, a pair of skaters for each team. Nice slide pass there. Butters has got it. Slingshot. Blocked before it could get through to the net and Kuberger. Oh, and they keep it in. Chance here for UMass Boston. Dump off pass fired into the chest there. One of the better looks we've seen so far, and it comes from Kelsey Ryan, the top line center.
Yeah, a good shift from the top line there. And a good read by Leffler on the blue line. She was able to intercept that puck and come right back down. Had Ryan on the right wing. Was able to get a shot. She was falling away from that pass a little bit. Wasn't able to really step into it, but still a fairly decent opportunity.
First shot on goal we've seen from the Beacons so far. 6 minutes gone now, still no score. Slap down, UMass Boston keeping it in the zone. Defenders will head to the bench. Still keeping it in. It's Kozik, 6th save there by Kuberger.
Yeah, that one was a little tricky. It looked like it was bouncing a bit.
Slide the puck all the way down. And Kennedy's just going to cover it up.
Yeah, see, would love to see Kennedy maybe get a better read on that. You know, if you know it's going to be on net, maybe try to play that puck. Now you've got a defensive zone. You're asking a lot of your center here. You gave him a free in-zone, Elmira, a free in-zone entry on that. I would have to qualify that as a misread. She knew that was going to be on net. Would like to see her play that puck next time.
Face off, it does come to her. Pad save, looked like a little bit wide anyway. Boston flings it, but Elmira keeps it in. Ooh, a big hit taken there.
Burham got it. It was close to her neck. She's all right, but we had a good angle on that one. That was pretty close to her throat there.
Burham's going to sidle off along with Kaylee Kozik. Slingshot down. Elmira's going to change just about the entire line here except for Jenny Heath, who stays out. Maroney centering pass. It was just a little bit behind there. UMass Boston got to stick to it. Now the rush. Oh, and a missed pass there.
Yeah, missed opportunity on that 3-on-2. Just a little bit too hard of a pass for the distance that needed to be covered.
Margot Butters slides it over. There's Emma Crocker we see playing the puck. Crocker, 119 career points now in 4 seasons and change.
It's exceptional.
Fires shot.
Nice save.
Goes wide there, saved by Kennedy.
Yeah, got it off the shoulder. And I'd like to see how aggressive she's being. She's well outside the blue paint. You know, there's a tendency when you, as a goaltender, you want to overcomplicate. It's a hard enough position as is, right? And there's a tendency to overcomplicate things. Sometimes you're worried too much about the backdoor pass or the crossing pass. You can see Kennedy there, laser focused on the puck carrier, worried about the initial shot.
Breakout chance here for the Beacons. It's Gustafson sliding in, sticked away there. Right to the doorstep and out. UMass Boston keeps it in. Again, we're seeing not letting Elmira break out as easily as they did early on. And now here comes a chance. Oh, a nice pad save there.
And again, very aggressive. That's Bowden, and she can shoot. I was watching her in warm-up. She's probably got the best shot on the team, including Crocker. And that's another nice stop.
Bowden, 5 goals so far this season, leading the New England Hockey Conference in that category. Scored 9 of them last year, 45 for her collegiate career. As potent an offensive threat as the Beacons are going to run into this season.
Fortunate. Yeah, Drill knows better than that. You can't make a cross-ice pass like that in your defensive zone. That's just, you're begging for that to be intercepted. She's fortunate it was offsides.
Face off in the neutral zone here. And won by the Beacons.
There you go, Drew.
Gain the neutral zone, now the offensive zone. Taps the pass in, now gives chase. Fight along the boards. UMass Boston still retaining possession, and now it's intercepted. Fires and a glove save there. Shot coming in from Emma Edgington, the fourth line center.
Like what I've seen for the Beacons so far in this period. It looks like a totally different team from what we saw last night. Last night looked sluggish. It looked slow. Tonight, they're right in step with Elmira. You know, a lot of shots on goal are going to look a little lopsided, but a lot of these are from the perimeter. Kennedy's going to be able to take those all night.
She certainly doesn't want to make the mistake that she made in yesterday's game. It's a shot that she would certainly tell you she should have had. Came in and it seemed like a 1-on-4. It didn't seem like it was much of an opportunity at all. And it snuck through. Wound up being the only goal of the night for the William Smith College Herons as a chance there on a loose puck. And Kuberger had to seal the post.
It's unfortunate, right? The one mistake the goaltender makes, and they put it up on a big red scoreboard for you. How do you like that, huh? Defensemen forwards make mistakes all night. They don't get tallied the same way. It's unfortunate. You know, these goalies. I'm part of the goalie union. I gotta fight for those.
For the unsung heroes.
Exactly.
There you go.
Tough time finding the puck here. Speaking of,
it's a scavenger hunt
of goalies. Yeah, it can get lost. They've all that equipment on it can get lost.
I think goalies and catchers ought to have national holidays. Maybe they can have one, but I mean, realistically, they should each have their own.
I like that.
It's entirely. I mean, if you're gonna play a position that's gonna give you knee problems later in life, I feel like at the very least we should have a day where we recognize you and eat festive meals and whatnot.
I'm all for it. I think that's a great point. I'm an advocate.
Face off here, Elmira takes it. Playing it behind the goal now. Oh, it comes out in front. Rebound. Finally covered up. A loose puck on the doorstep. And Elmira's making some costly turnovers here.
Leffler again, she's been very disruptive here in this first period. She's getting great reads on what Elmira's trying to do. And there you saw another one behind the net, was able to just throw it in front to Ryan, who was trying to jam that home, just couldn't get it past Kuberger, who made a couple good saves on that play. But a nice effort by Leffler, her second forced turnover today.
Centering pass comes out in front here, and pouncing on it quickly this time is Kuberger.
I'll tell you what, this first line came to play. I mean, that's 2 or 3 shifts now that have been entirely in the offensive zone. That's what you want to see if you're Coach Blanchard. And a big game for her. You know, we've talked about her storied career at Plattsburgh. They're big rivals with Elmira, so I'm sure this means a little bit more to her in trying to get that big upset today.
The third line's going to pick up where the first line left off. Let's see what they can do. Among them is Katie Wilbert, who we saw took a kind of a nasty spill in a game last night, did not return. Kennedy covers up that shot.
Yeah, she
saw
did.
Take a nasty spill, did not return to the game, is back out there tonight, looks to be skating well.
Yeah, it's good to see. I mean, the way she went down was very, very awkward, and then she was getting some attention from the training staff. You could tell it wasn't too serious by the way they were leaving her be on the sidelines, but it is good to see her back in the sideline or in the lineup today.
Defensive zone face-off here for the Beacons. Slap shot didn't make it all the way through. It's loose in the slot. There's going to be, almost a chance there. Almost a chance for Claire Elfring of the Eagles. Knocked down. UMass Boston doing a solid job here protecting Kennedy, who has had to do a lot so far. A little past the halfway point here of the first period. Still no score. But we've seen some increasingly enticing chances on these loose pucks. Elfring dispossessed. Elmira takes it back. It's Jenna Ellis now. Flings it long. UMass Boston trying to cover. Elfring is all over the place right now.
Indeed. Surprised she's not going for a change, quite honestly. She's been out there for a while.
Battle behind the net. Who's going to come out with it? So far it's Elmira. It squirts to the opposite corner. Nice back pass there. Jenny Heath. Swing wide, poked it in. It'll be Elfring. They continue to circle around. Counterclockwise.
Good block. Good block.
Superb block there. That's Allison Riefler of the Beacons. Oh, and a little back pass there. I think Elfring didn't realize she had the slot open.
She did, yeah.
Slap shot sails wide right.
Beacons are exhausted. This is not good.
Elmira trying to break them down, keep the pressure on. Heath slides it in, deflected off his skate, it looked like,
Buck's
of Rachel Buram.
Got to get it out here. Oh, boy.
There's a lot of sticks in the middle, but they have not been able to eject the puck.
They're panicking. You can see. There you go. Okay. They're fortunate. They're fortunate. They got to get a change here.
Oh, and in the middle of a change, here comes Elmira. Fires, pad save. The rebound is loose. Comes up to the point. Sails wide right, excuse me. And finally they get the puck over the red line.
There's a lot of time defending.
Oh, and now here's a chance. Kelsey Ryan, Katie Leffler in the middle. Ran into a thicket of sticks there, and the puck squirts wide.
Well, and Ryan just banged one off the goaltender. Gustafson was right there and just missed it.
UMass Boston finally getting a line change out there for an absolutely gassed defensive unit that had some trouble, but ultimately...
Oh, boy.
Oh, and a loose puck now. Ultimately had some trouble, but ultimately got the job done.
They did, and they were chasing a little bit there, Milton. It didn't cost them, but you don't want that to creep in. Defensively, they've been very sound, but I did see them chasing there as they got tired.
Anna Gustafson flings a pass into the middle. It's taken by the Eagles here. Been a while since UMass Boston had some sustained offensive zone time. But winning the possession game up until recently. Now giving chase, it's Hannah McDougall.
She can skate. We saw her beat out 2 icings yesterday, one of which ended up in the back of the net.
That was that first goal of the game for UMass Boston in that first period. Kozik ultimately won it with a shorthanded goal coming out of a 5-on-3. Which is, if you're the William Smith coaching staff, that's going to make you about as mad as anything.
I was saying yesterday, it's about as bad as it gets. A shorthanded game-winning goal is one of the more rare events to happen in any hockey game.
Riva weaving.
I think we're going to get a crease violation here, yeah. I'll come outside the zone.
Looks to be Claire Elfring, who's just sort of hanging out in Victoria Kennedy's grill. Have not seen a penalty. It was a very penalty-heavy game for the Beacons last night. Almost every one being called, all but one called against them.
I'd be willing to bet that was strongly addressed by the coaching staff after that game. It just, again, not something you're going to be able to do today and expect to win.
We have not seen a power play yet for Elmira. They've scored on 40% of their power plays. They're 10 of 25 on the season. A preposterous clip. Is Cramp giving chase here? Puck popped up. Right in front of us over here on the near side. Oh, everyone going to the floor, and the puck finally squibs over. Elmira, they don't have numbers, but they got momentum. Behind the goal for dump-off, centering pass. No, they go back out to the blue line with Ellis. Swing wide. Flung up into the boards right behind the net. Centering pass again, no good. And UMass Boston with a chance to break out here. Instead, they'll opt for a line change.
And that's fine. Again, you're doing well here. I mean, this has been a solid first period. You cannot get frustrated defending.
Intercepted there by Gustafson. She'll swing around. Having a little bit of trouble connecting the passes here, but the defense, like you mentioned, staying very strong.
And I think you've got to take that, right? As long as we're strong defensively, we'll try to figure out the rest as we go. You just can't get too frustrated in the defensive zone because you're so worried about trying to generate offense.
Looked like a captain over there. Sydney Harris just kind of shielding the puck right between her knees for a little while. Puck's loose in the slot. Oh, and a nice stick block there by Jenna Ellis of the Eagles.
Yeah, good opportunity from Leffler. Just couldn't get it on net.
Aggressive checking here. They're going to keep the puck in the offensive zone. Oh, and it's blocked away. Here's a chance. Oh
boy. No call? Oh, they got away with one there. I thought Drill was going to get called on a trip for sure.
Aggressive defense from Jane Ann Drill. Saw her take a penalty or two yesterday. Puck comes into the neutral zone here. It's Corinne Tretchell for the Beacons. Sliding it up, gaining inch by inch. Puck's coming into the slot, but the Eagles have got it, and they'll eject. Little under 4 minutes to play here. Chance for UMass, swung wide by about 6 inches off the stick of Riefler. UMass Boston's flung a few chances in the last couple minutes. Elmira's had some scary breakaways that have not materialized. Still no penalties, still no goals. UMass Boston's going to go for a change here. Margot Butters flings off the boards. Karam's over to the Eagles' back line. Poke checked away there, and a nice job.
Ooh. An incidental check by Cramp. Really like the way she plays. She's a scrappy player. She seems to always be in the mix.
And we're seeing just a furious energy for the Beacons, especially compared to yesterday.
It's night and day, Mill, and I'm pleasantly surprised with the way this Beacon team has started this hockey game today. Another incidental check from Cramp, but just a completely different team from what we saw yesterday, and this is more of what we're used to seeing from this squad.
Breakout here, it's Bowden. Is it poke checked away, and the Beacons will take it. 1-on-4 here, they'll opt for a change.
Just the energy itself has been better. You know, that everything else is falling into place because I think there's more of a sense of urgency here today than what we saw yesterday.
It's a chance for UMass Boston to prove themselves against a team that is playing in their 3rd conference in 6 years and has torched anyone and everyone in their path during that time. Elmira ranked 5th in the country, coming in undefeated in conference. UMass Boston trying to hand them their first ever NEHC loss. Galeniak here for the Eagles, flings it and calmly into the glove of Victoria Kennedy.
Buddington was sure she wasn't going to deflect the puck onto her own goaltender. You saw her, she was in good position, and then as that shot was taken, just kind of stood up tall on her feet, made sure to get a skinny and allow her goaltender to see it from that distance. Got to make a decision if you're a defense, right? You got to either go for it and try to deflect that puck away, or get small and allow your goaltender to try and see it.
We've had precious little in the way of play stoppage here, and it's been a furious, frantic, energetic pace from both squads. Turnover here. UMass Boston, the defense, especially in the middle of the ice, has been just good enough to make up for the errors. Another puck loose in the slot here, sticked away again. UMass Boston trying to see just how active they can be. Well, there's a chance here. Galeniak, body save there. Kennedy, a pad save. Oh my goodness, Victoria Kennedy. Take a bow.
Yeah, quick feet. 2 good stops there from Kennedy. And the first one, you know, kind of a weird angle for a goaltender. Anytime you're hugging that post, you're trying to really seal that off, but at the same time, you know, not allow any pucks to be shot, you know, on the far side. She was able to get both, and then the rebound as well. 2 good stops.
Wait for the stat sheet to update, but by my count, that is 14 saves for Victoria Kennedy in the opening period. Stellar play from a sophomore goalie playing her first actual season. UMass Boston didn't play last year due to the pandemic. Elmira did, albeit in a limited capacity. Puck squirts loose here, 50 seconds to play. It's listed on the arena scoreboard. Puck comes back over the blue line into the neutral zone. Elmira missed the connection here. Katie Leffler giving chase. Gustafson's got it now. Puck is loose. Elmira's having trouble breaking out here. And now they finally get the momentum going. 20 seconds to play in the opening period. Lofted over the goal. Squirts out into neutral ice. And that should just about do it here for the first period. Still no score. An amazing up and down period for both teams here. Making up for mistakes. It really is kind of a case that's the defense covering for these loose pucks, and UMass Boston has been very active.
Yeah, I really like that period. I mean, I know it's 0-0, but I was really pleasantly surprised with what we saw in that period. I mean, again, we've talked about it last night. I don't think was their best effort. Here today, structurally in the defensive zone, that's one of the better periods I've seen from the Beacons. I mean, they did not give up too much of anything for this Elmira team. That's offense, we talked about in the pregame, scoring 5.5 goals per game. So I thought defensively was very sound, and they didn't get frustrated, Milton. That was the other thing. I thought, okay, it looks good for most of that period. Are they going to lose their composure? It never happened. So really liked what I saw there. I think they need to remind themselves in this period now. Elmira's going to come back out a little stronger, right? This was maybe a wake-up call for this team. They're going to try to hit us even harder in the second period, so we got to be even more sound defensively. So that's something I'd address in the locker room, but overall you have to be happy with this period.
We're going to take a quick break here and come back with an interview with the new athletic director here at UMass Boston, Jacqueline Schumann, as well as some breakdown of the first period and some scoring updates. We'll be right back.
Celebrate the soggy shoes and the slow starts. Celebrate the lessons learned along the way. These are the wins. Not the shiny nail-biting kind. These are the last a lifetime kind.
Something I discovered in myself is that if I have a goal, I can accomplish it.
It's a well-rounded experience.
At a Division III school, you primarily a student athlete, so the school is really shaped around you developing yourself as a complete individual.
It helps a lot that you have a family with your team that can guide you.
I just wanted to get good grades and to do well, but it also made me realize that I have a lot of career goals.
You're there to get a full college experience, not only participate in your sport, but participate in things outside of that, and it's all about growing as a person.
My coaches have helped me with figuring out who I really am. Their lives are dedicated for us to succeed.
And welcome back. Milton Poster here with the newly minted athletic director at UMass Boston, Jacqueline Schumann. And Jacqueline, what have the first couple months been for you, like here on this campus here? You just got here really recently. What's it been like?
Yeah, so nice to see you. They've been great. Really have just been trying to meet as many people as I can to start to build some relationships, meeting our student athletes, our coaches, staff, my peers and colleagues, and then people in the greater Boston community. And just trying to also learn as much as I can about the culture within athletics and recreation, and also within the institution and the greater city, of course, because we are UMass Boston. And then assessing where we are right now and working with our team to build a path for the future.
And what's got you excited here about this new job? What are you looking forward to?
So first and foremost, I'm really excited about our new chancellor, who isn't as new as me now, right? And his focus and his vision for the institution. I'm excited that he's a chancellor who has really put a focus on the issues that matter today, and being an anti-racist campus and a health-promoting institution at a time when higher education really needs us to focus on the most important problems and really center education and our moral imperatives that are critical on how we teach through education at our higher education institutions. So very excited about that and his focus. I'm also really excited right now that as an institution we're going through a strategic planning process, and coming here as a new director of athletics and recreation, it's the perfect time for me to come here to be able to align our strategic goals and embed them into the strategic planning process and goals of the institution, so that we can move forward together and really strive for excellence together.
And kind of going off that, what are the long-term goals? Where do you want the athletics program to be in 5 years and 10 years?
Yeah, so overall, I'd really like UMass Boston to be a destination for Division III student athletes. And I would like what we're doing to be embedded as a fully integrated part of the student experience and the staff experience and the faculty experience on our campus, so that people are really excited about what UMass Boston Athletics and Recreation brings to our entire community. And around the nation and even globally, people know us as a destination to come for excellence in sports. And so that's something that I think, if we're thinking 5-10 years down the road and we're envisioning what we want to be, I want us to be a destination. I also want us to build facilities. So we have some work to do around that. If we want to center the student-athlete experience, which I want to do, and I know our coaches and our staff are really excited to do, then we want to give them the best possible experience by providing them with facilities that can help them be at their best, which also serves the greater purpose of the institution to be health promoting and to have a community and a sense of community here as well. And then ultimately, I want us to be striving to be national leaders around issues of social justice through sports. So I think given the uniqueness of the institution that we have here and the focus of the Chancellor, we can absolutely be that, and we can be leaders through sports and social justice.
Well, we're looking forward to seeing what you accomplish in the next few years. We're going to take a quick break here. I'll be right back with Matt Meisenbacher to break down some of that first period action. Stick around.
Great.
Awesome.
All right.
Being a part of the different activities and organizations that I've been a part of, I'm actually able to see myself where I'm like, hey, I actually can make a change. I'm one person that can make a difference.
Division III has helped me to develop teamwork skills, critical thinking skills, time management skills.
It's not just about basketball, or it's not just about school, it's about developing yourself as a person altogether.
College has given me the flexibility to pursue my passions and my interests, and I've recreated my identity for myself aside from just being an athlete.
My greatest personal discovery has been that I am capable of doing things that I didn't know I was capable of doing.
To be able to study what I wanted to and continue to play the sport I love, all of those things came together very nicely in one package in Division III.
I'm the first undergraduate alumnus to lead this university. I'm very proud of that. I was literally able to transform my life because of the University of Massachusetts, and I want that for every single student that walks through the door.
I did receive a non-athletic scholarship upon entering school.
I got the presidential scholarship, which was huge for me.
I think there's more opportunities for academic scholarships in Division III.
I did receive academic scholarships. Just being involved on campus, being a leader, all those things combined kind of get me recognized. It's a great experience for me.
Welcome back from the Clark Athletic Center in Boston, Massachusetts. I'm Milton Posner, Matt Meisenbacher here with me. We are scoreless after one period between UMass Boston and Elmira College women's hockey squads. And I mean, we've seen a lot of crazy things here. We're going to put up some stats here from the first period. What's standing out to you?
It was close. I mean, it's a close period. Statistically, it's going to show that too. I really, again, Elmira just got their opportunities, but everything was from the perimeter. And I didn't really see, there were a few opportunities in front of the net, but it wasn't anything that was too frantic. The Beacons seemed to handle it, defensively in that period, and I really was impressed by the way they took care of things. And then on top of it, offensively, they were able to be a little bit disruptive in their own offensive zone on the forecheck. Leffler in particular created 2 turnovers of her own that resulted directly into scoring opportunities, one of which was very, very close to being a rebound goal for Gustafson. I think that was a really strong period for the Beacons, and I hope that they can build on that coming into the second.
I mean, we saw it yesterday. I don't want to say a non-existent forecheck, but certainly a forecheck that wasn't liable to force anything, wasn't going to generate loose pucks, and was not going to make – I don't think Williams-Smith College felt all that much pressure when they were trying to break out. Versus here, they're doing it against a team that, by all accounts, they've got no right to do it against.
Yeah, and it could be a combination of things, right? Elmira obviously knows coming into this game that they were expected to win, and based on the way that they warmed up and came to this game, I thought their energy looked good. Now, it's a fine line, right? Because there could be this is, speculation, but a little bit of cockiness, right? Thinking, hey, this is going to be an easy win. Let's take care of business and get home. So I would expect even a stronger effort from them in this second period. This could be a wake-up call at 0-0. We haven't done anything yet, and they come out even stronger in this second here. But overall, I agree with you. I think both, particularly the Beacons, really had to be happy with the way they performed there.
We're going to take a look here at what else is going on around Beaconville and around the New England Hockey Conference. We're going to take a look at Beaconville first. Number 1, Men's ice hockey is going to be playing at Elmira College at 4 p.m. Don't you dare turn away from this game. It's very rude, and you're going to make me and Matt very sad if you do that. But once this one's done, yeah, you might as well. Women's basketball taking on Wellesley College at 4 p.m. next door. Men's basketball paying a visit to Colby Sawyer College. That'll be this evening. So now we know what y'all are going to be doing for the rest of the day. We got some fun stuff on tap for you. Around the New England Hockey Conference, we're going to take a look at what is going on there. Salem State still scoreless with Plymouth State at the end of the second. Southern Maine leading Castleton at the end of the first. Norwich playing Trinity College there. They're scoreless at the end of one. And William Smith tied with Johnson and Wales 1-1 at the end of the first. William Smith, Johnson and Wales, Elmira, and UMass Boston kind of travel partners in a certain sense. So when UMass Boston heads down to Elmira on January 28th, they'll have William Smith College the next day. We are going to go now. Going to take a look ahead and see what is on tap next, because you just can't wait for more hockey. You get a look at the upcoming schedule. It's going to be a game a week from today against Trine University as part of the Codfish Bowl. The game the next day, its opponent and time is to be determined. It depends on the result of the first game. And then after that, they're going to hop back to play Connecticut College after a brief respite on December 7th. Most of the rest of December is going to be an off time for this team. They go home for winter break and Christmas and presents and Santa Claus and whatnot. We are going to take you now to the highlights from the opening period as we can see some of this frantic defensive action here that somehow kept the puck out of the back of the net.
You can see for most of this period, I mean, none of these opportunities are really going to be anything too testing. That's a nice save there. And don't get me wrong, Kennedy had some good saves. You can see how aggressive she's being in the net, but realistically, I mean, those are, I don't want to say routine, but shots that you see regularly as a goaltender that you can handle. And even the Beacons now, with some of these highlights, you know, pressure in their own offensive zone, which was a little bit of a pleasant surprise. I thought that was the one opportunity I thought they had an opportunity to score on. Gustafson just missed that rebound. Kennedy diving on another puck. But ultimately, you know, a very even first period. And if you're the Beacons, that's a win for you.
It seems like Kuberger is having, to some degree or another, and it wasn't universal, it seems like she was having some problems with controlling the rebounds there. There were more loose pucks other than those that were being created by the Beacons forecheck.
Yeah, it's a good observation. I think that's true, and that can happen to a goaltender, particularly that can't get into a rhythm, right? And the offense that the Beacons created was a little bit sporadic. And as a goaltender, it's hard, like a quarterback in football, it's very hard to get into a rhythm when you're not constantly seeing action. And I think you're right, that some of those rebounds were probably attributed to that.
We're going to take another quick break here and be right back for the start of the second period. We're inside of 2 minutes to go until the craziness on the ice resumes. We'll be right back.
The University of Massachusetts Boston, with its scenic oceanfront campus, easily accessible to downtown Boston, is recognized as a model of excellence for urban public universities. 16 NCAA Division III sports are part of the more than 100 student organizations that create an engaging campus life in America's biggest and best college town. UMass Boston, Boston's urban public research university for the 21st century.
Division III allows you to give yourself to other things.
Having that free time allows me to pursue the things that I want to pursue.
Division III athletics affords students the opportunity to, engage in the other interests in their campus and in their lives outside of that sport.
It allows you to just be able to do everything you want to do. I wouldn't change it for the world.
Did you miss us? Well, I certainly hope so, because we're back. Milton Posner, Matt Meisenbacher here on the campus of UMass Boston, where the hometown Beacons have done exactly what, Matt, you said they needed to do before the game, which is keep it close.
Yeah, and checked all the boxes in that period. I would expect a harder punch in the second period from the Soaring Eagles. I think they've got more to give, and the Beacons cannot get frustrated. One thing that I would have emphasized in that period is don't give up. You had a good first. Don't give it all back in the second now. Let's stick to what we were doing. It's working. We're frustrating this team. We're keeping it close. We've got to stay to what we were doing and continue to play our system and not try to get a little bit too creative here. So we'll see what we get as the first line for the Beacons will be starting this period, and Elmira getting their huddle together will be starting TBD at this stage.
You can see that line for UMass Boston. Out there right now, it's going to be the top line.
No surprise, really.
Anna Gustafson, Kelsey Ryan, Katie Leffler in front, Jane Ann Drill, Addie Buddington in front of the goaltender, Victoria Kennedy. It's the top line as well for Elmira. Katie Manning, Jenny Heath, the defenders in front of Leonie Kuberger, Eliza Bowden, Emma Crocker, Morgan Mordini. The top line stifled to this point. We're going to begin the second 20 minutes of play here. And have another face-off. UMass Boston has done well for themselves on the face-offs, has kept pace. Choosing to let themselves be outdrawn as we are having some sort of delay here. Not sure what's going on.
Yeah, clock issues again. They had this at the start of the game.
Well, the clock reads 0, so I guess we must be done with the second period. So, Matt, what would you say in that second period was the key to absolutely nothing at all happening?
Solid. Oh, never mind. We're going to run it.
20 minutes back on the clock. The health bar is restored. The players have had a few minutes to rest, and they badly needed it after that first period. Here we go. Mordini. It's swiped away, tries to regain it. Now Elmira going to circle it around in their own zone. Drill recovers. Pass slips underneath the stick of Gustafson. Back over to the left dot. UMass Boston aggressive again in an odd man rush now. Elmira's got a chance here. Slingshot sails wide.
Might have got a piece there. Kennedy did off the glove. Beacons got caught. That's the one thing you don't want to see if you're Coach Blanchard. They got caught in the neutral zone. That was a pretty solid 2-on-1 opportunity there.
Shot was coming in from Emma Crocker. She's got more goals to her name than anyone on this team. 53 over a esteemed career. Oh, and turnover here on the blue line. Elmira coming out on the front foot in the first minute. Shot caroms around, winds up in front, rebound. Oh, and that was a missed opportunity there. It was Erica Galiniak here who was closest to it.
Not really sure how she missed it, Milton, quite frankly. She had the entire net. Somehow wasn't able to tuck it home.
Could not get the stick to the puck there. It's loose in the slot, and UMass Boston with a very shaky start in the opening minute and change here.
Yeah, got to tighten it down for sure.
Puck slingshotted away. They went for a change. We'll see if the new line can stop the pressure. Turn it around. They came out very strong in the first period. Puck comes behind the net, squirts loose in the slot here. Burum. And too many sticks by the time she got to it.
Yeah, it was bouncing on her.
Rolling on its side all the way around to the far corner. Burum takes it behind the net now. She's got cramp in front, excuse me. And again, chasing behind the net.
With an aggressive pinch there. Can't have too many of those. That one was okay. She was able to succeed on it, but you just don't want to get caught and focus too heavily on the offensive side of things right now if you're UMass Boston.
Burum, they got a 2-on-1. Burum goes for it from distance, and it's easily deflected away by Kuberger. Comes in, Kuberger sealing the post, swaps sides now as the puck comes around the back of the net. UMass Boston trying to keep it in the neutral zone. It's checked away here. We could have an issue here. Claire Elfring behind the net. McArdle. Elmira controls in the neutral zone. You see right there what UMass Boston has been good at no matter how anything else was going there. They've kept their sticks in those passing lanes.
Yeah, and been right on the reads. You know, that was something that was lacking last night as well, as they were incorrect a lot of times. Today, they're getting good reads, and like you said, that sticks on the ice. They're being very disruptive.
Swerving around now, coming into the slot, swerving to the right dot is Riva. Centering pass there. McArdle had it, lost it, and UMass Boston trying to break out. Dumped down, it's Hannah McDougall giving chase. Sydney Harris, the Eagles captain, flicks it back. That one's loose. UMass Boston keeps it in. A missed pass from the Eagles. Caromed off one of the skates. A little bit of wild action here. Neither team connecting too many passes in a row. Puck will come all the way back to the neutral zone. Oh, a nice move there. It's Kelsey Ryan. Oh, whiffed on the shot, though. Katie Leffler behind the net. To a knee. Still fighting for it. Tried to slingshot it anywhere. UMass Boston keeps it in. Deflected. Oh! Almost a very embarrassing own goal there.
Yeah, that's not what you're trying to do, is to deflect it onto your own goaltender. A good shot by Drill to get that to the net. And this top line, you know, they were a little bit, I think, shy yesterday. I didn't see we didn't mention them too often. Here today, I mean, Beacons really have two strong lines going. Their top two lines have looked solid all day. And I've thoroughly been impressed with the way Leffler and Ryan have just found themselves around the puck. Gustafson as well.
Oh, and almost a breakaway there, but again, the active sticks for the Beacons, denying Elmira most of the opportunities they might otherwise have had. Now they got a chance here. It's a 2-on-3. Leffler, the captain, coming in from behind, breaking up the play. Pass out in front, ejected there. Margot Butters. Off the skate, UMass Boston giving chase now. Instead, they'll opt for a change. Change instantly turns into a forecheck there. Pass flung up, Liz Cramp giving chase. Now it's Morgan Mordini fighting for it along the boards alongside Rachel Burum of UMass Boston. Still no score, 14:44 to play in the second period. Fewer shots on goal than we saw in the first. Is that going to change now? Burum missed the connection there. Looked like she entered offside.
So far, so good for the Beacons, you know, and you can see the push from Elmira right out of the gate. They were throwing a lot at them. They were able to weather that storm unscathed. And now here back to more of what we saw in that first period.
Amazing how few whistles we've had. Couple of offside calls, and that's really been about it. No penalties, no icing calls even.
Right.
Very clean game. Either that or the refs have dinner reservations.
Could be a combination of both.
Yeah.
But no, I quite frankly think it's been a pretty clean game overall. There's a couple possible calls that we saw, but hasn't been too many infractions I think they've missed.
And that's Boston intercepting the pass here. Don't have numbers. Instead, they're going to opt for a change.
And again, just keep that rotation going, right? That's all you're trying to do if you're UMass, is continue to rotate. Let's have everybody get out there, give their best effort for 30, 45 seconds and get off the ice.
Millens now, they keep it in. Emma Edgington sliding wide with a glove stop there was Kennedy, was about 6 inches wide of the right post.
Yeah, careful. That's a soft play there by McDougall. Got to be a little bit harder on pucks than that.
Emma Edgington goes to the bench. She was very active on that shift. Fourth line center here for the Elmira College Eagles. Team that by all accounts has been running away with pretty much every contest they have played.
You get a penalty call here.
Looks like it's going to go against UMass Boston. It should be Katie Wilbert going to the sin bin here.
I think it's Reffler.
We got some confirmation here. No, neither. It's going to be Allison Riefler.
Yeah.
So she's going to go for what we assume is 2 minutes here.
Yep.
And that is going to prompt an Elmira power play that has scored, like we mentioned earlier, 40% of their opportunities. They have 10 power play goals this season.
Well, your first big test of the day if you're the Beacons. Elbowing call on Reffler, and now, like you mentioned, a power play that's highly touted here for Elmira.
Fired in, great save, Kennedy. And UMass Boston has not necessarily been the best penalty-killing team. 79% on the season. That would put them 9th out of 10 teams in the conference. They have got to show out right here.
Good stop.
Flung in another good stop. Minute 35 remaining on the power play. 12:40 remaining in the period. All right, a little bit of sloppy stick handling there, and now they'll have to fight along the boards.
Got to get it out here if you're the Beacons. Got to get it out. There it is.
They get it into the neutral zone and not able to eject it over the end line. Puck popped up. Oh, this one's loose. There's a chance, but a great play there. It looked like Gustafson got the stick in. Mary McCafferty scored the overtime winner against William Smith College in the only close game Elmira's had this season. One-timer from the bottom of the dot and another block. 50 seconds left on the power play. It's loose in the slot. Taking it off the
Great
hands was
save.
Ryan, and another brilliant pad save.
Best of the night. Best of the night for Kennedy. She was coming to her right, and then the shot came back to, or I'm sorry, came to her left. Shot came back to the right side and was able to kick that out with her pad. Great save.
Some fighting in the neutral zone. 30 seconds left on the power play here. Elmira's had some good looks, but Victoria Kennedy has stood on her head. Absolutely amazing stuff here from, an effective freshman here. 10 seconds left on the power play, and it looks like it'll expire without another chance. Elmira's maybe got one more chance for a rush here before we're back to even strength. Oh, and kicked away there. Teammate helping out with a rebound control, and we are back to even strength. Here comes Allie Riefler. UMass Boston continuing to impress. Denying Elmira's strengths. Rebound here comes in. Play it behind the net is Elmira. It's like Riva. Dump off pass. There's a mess out in front, and UMass Boston gets it out only as far as the blue line.
Yeah, that's in. They got to be careful here. Elmira's going to get a change. This puck has to get out. All right. Could be an icing, though. Let's see. Nope.
No, it's kept in. Jenny Heath takes a spill now. Crocker fires high and wide. Oh. 2-on-2 here. Tretchell blocked in front. Puck squirts to the corner.
What a solid effort by the Beacons on that penalty kill. Talk about bend but don't break. Some contact there at the blue line.
Had practice with a 3-on-5, or a 5-on-3, the other night. But granted, it was against a team with a much less potent power play. Oh, and here's a chance here. Morgan Morghini, slap shot, pad save, rebound, pad save. Are you kidding me? Victoria Kennedy. Time and time again.
That was on Bowden, too. That was on their top scorer on that rebound. I think she missed it, but Kennedy still had to get there to make the save. And we're going to get a penalty call. Crocker's going to the box. The Beacons are going to get a power play.
And UMass Boston now with a chance. We can take a look at the stats here for them. Elmira has been the fourth best penalty killing team. They've killed off about 90% of the penalties they have faced. UMass Boston also fourth place in power plays. They have succeeded on about 1 in every 6 so far this season.
Beacons just want to get shots here. You don't have to make the perfect play. Just try to generate some offense, get pucks to the net, see if you can get a bounce. There it is right there.
That one slid in. It took a pad save. It's still loose in the slot.
That's all you're trying to do if you're the Beacons. Right there. You just saw it. Get pucks to the net, see if you can create some rebounds and bang one home. You don't need a perfect play here.
Minute 35 to go on the power play. 9:20 left in the period. Fight along the boards. Puck comes out. Katie Leffler going left to right. Pass Gustafson broken up, but it's still loose.
They're close. They are close, Milton. That's 2 opportunities now where one needed one more shot maybe to tuck it home. But I would really use the D here, use the perimeter, and just blown tire there.
A spill there. Kelsey Ryan. Sydney Harris now, and all of a sudden, Elmira's on the front foot.
Yeah, that
little more than halfway through the power play.
Yeah, that hurt there. That blown tire from Ryan allowed Elmira to get the puck. That's going to cost them 20, maybe 30 seconds.
45 seconds to go. UMass Boston back in possession of the puck here. Fight in the neutral zone, squirts loose. And an open space here. It's Bowden on Kennedy. Another excellent block.
Great save. Great save. I mean, this is the game of the year so far for Kennedy.
Liz Cramp. Oh, and a ricochet comes right out there. Kind of pinballed around and wound up in the clutches.
That was close. Yeah.
Leonie Kuberger.
That was close. You know, and a big face-off draw here now. 20 seconds still on this power play. If UMass can win it. And I would just maybe 1 or 2 passes and try to get it to the net. I wouldn't try to do too much. There's a 1 draw, so let's see what they can do with it.
15 seconds to go on the power play, 8 minutes to go in the period. Slap shot comes in, deflected wide by Kuberger. Had to make a couple of saves here. Meter ejects, and that will be the end of the power play here. But UMass Boston, see if they can use this to establish a little bit of momentum for the rest of the period.
And that was a solid effort. You know, didn't score, but you were able to generate some offense and some opportunities and allow, I think most importantly, some of those defensive players to take a couple shifts where they weren't feeling all the pressure the entire time.
Elmira trying to establish the offensive front foot here. UMass Boston forcing it to stay in Elmira's defensive zone. Who's emerging with a puck? It's Gustafson. Now it goes to Elmira. Mary McCafferty, centering pass here in the traffic. Gabby Shantz of the Beacons on a block there coming across. Looks to be Katie Wilbert. Now Gustafson. Cross ice pass.
That's a penalty.
And it's going to be a delayed penalty here. UMass Boston pulling the goalie. Still no call. Looked like McCafferty might have gotten her stick to it, but they're going to let them go.
I'm surprised they didn't blow that there.
Surprised it. Yeah, there's been a couple of spots here where you think pass comes over to McDougal, who wasn't looking at it, and now the penalty.
So right back onto the power play here.
UMass Boston going to get another chance at it. It's Claire Elfring who's going to go over to the box. And it reminds me when I was little, my parents used to have a thinking chair where they would make me and my brother go when we were, when we were misbehaving. I mean, that's basically what the penalty box is.
Yeah, we had something similar. That's funny.
It's a traumatic. Every time someone picks up a minor penalty, I have this like traumatic flashback.
And I'm convinced the clock moves slower when you're the one that committed the infraction.
True.
Yeah.
Very true.
2 minutes feels like 5.
Well, it's a minute 47 left on this one. Claire Elfring, 2 minutes for holding here is the announcement.
I was going to say, I would do more of the same if I'm UMass, though. I thought I had nothing wrong with that power play. I thought they were able to generate some opportunities and keeping it simple. It's been effective so far in this game.
Anna Gustafson loses control of the puck here, but they keep it in just south of the blue line. Puck skips on through on the wrister. It's loose now. This could be a chance. Kelsey Ryan weaving. Stick checked away. Dump off pass. Leffler. Excuse me, Buddington, that is. Here is Leffler giving chase into the corner. Halfway through the power play now. Fight behind the net. UMass Boston still looking for a really good shot here on this power play. Comes in loose in the slot. Flung away.
I'm all right with that. You know, that's a shot from one of your top players in Ryan. It was bouncing around a little bit. There was a rebound in the slot. Just didn't go to one of your players. I'd be okay with that.
Missed connection there on the pass for UMass Boston. That was a chance. Tretchell. Centering pass. Poked wide. They had a brief opportunity when Elmira was in the line change. They missed it. They still got 15 seconds left on the power play. Loose in the slot.
Those rebounds are there. And they really are. They've been there all day.
10 seconds on the power play for UMass Boston. Still scoreless. Oh, loose again there. Power play expires. We're back to even strength.
Nice
oh!
Save. Good save.
Sprawling, sliding to her right was Kuberger.
Yeah.
Who has not had to play the way that Kennedy has in net, but has
Been effective.
Has gotten the job done when she's had
And that's her best of the night there. That's a redirect right on her doorstep. She was able to get that right pad on it and cover the rebound. That's an effective save right at the end of that power play to keep this thing scoreless.
Offensive zone draw for the Beacons here, 4:32 left. They have played this Elmira team. They have played them close. They have matched them in just about every respect. Here's Elfring. She's got Riva to her right. She goes there. Around the back of the net here with Jane Ann Drill giving chase. Tries to fling it out in front. Too many sticks, too many skates. UMass Boston takes control. Loose puck here. Riva into the middle to the doorstep. Looked like it got a little bit of the pad of Victoria Kennedy there.
Yeah, good save.
UMass Boston here. Got a chance. It's Anna Gustafson. Fires from the blue line and a glove save.
Yeah, it's the end of a shift. Oh, I would have loved to see Gustafson just take another 2 strides so the goaltender would have had to cover that. Beacons are fortunate. They were able to get the puck back.
Keep it in, squibs over, and this time.
Yeah, I got a whistle anyway. You could see at the end of the shift there from 7, just didn't have anything left in the tank. I like the play. Don't try to do too much. Get it on net, but finish the play, right? Get to that front of the net, allow the goaltender cover, then change. She changed a little bit early there. She's fortunate. That could have got her team caught on a change, but nevertheless, here we are, 0-0 and 3:25 left in the second.
Puck squibs over. 21 saves so far for Kuberger, with that one added in. 24 for Victoria Kennedy. She can have to make another one here. It's Crocker fighting for it. Ultimately, too many Beacons in the neighborhood. This one's loose, and another stick gets to it. Stick with a white jersey on the other end of it. Crawling up the near side boards. Burum flings it on net, sticked away there by Kuberger. Easy save. You'd like to see UMass Boston maybe get a little bit closer on some of these shots. They're trying to fling them in from distance.
Yeah, the rebounds have been there. I think offensively, and again, I wouldn't sacrifice defense to do it, but offensively, I would definitely try to lag a forward, have that initial rush, try to maybe put one off the pad, and then have that F2, that second forward, or that F3 third forward come through and try to find that rebound.
Harris sliding in, tries to poke it through. No dice, too many bodies in front.
You get a penalty here. Not sure if it's on Elmira. I think it's on Elmira. The way the ref pointed, I wasn't sure if he was pointing at the Beacons, but yeah, it's going to be Crocker again, her second of the day. And you can see the frustration. You know, and this is what can happen when you're playing this sound defensively, is some of these high-end scorers, they really start to grip the stick extra tight. They're wondering, what do I have to do to score and get my opportunities today? That's Crocker's second penalty, and the Beacons' third power play of the period.
Crocker didn't learn the lesson about violence being bad the first time, and so they'll give her another 2 minutes to think about it. That power play.
This is a huge moment in the hockey game because you got 2 minutes left in the second. If the Beacons can find a way to take the lead here and go into the third with the lead, that does wonders for your confidence. This is we're going to get another call here. What do we got here?
Not too sure. Their officials are going to confer
Clock
for
issue?
a minute. Wouldn't think so. It seems like the clock started at the, or perhaps it is.
Yeah, 3 seconds off that power play wasn't enough. Yeah, I think it's a clock problem. They've been having issues
start
today.
it quickly enough.
Yeah.
Sydney Harris, the captain for the Elmira Eagles, getting some confirmation on this one, explaining it to her bench.
Yeah, the hard part about this is now you got a defensive draw if you're the Beacons, which is, you know, I'd be out arguing with Blanchard. This should be out of my zone.
Yeah.
But doesn't affect them either way.
They're going to take it. This power play is going to take us to about 10-15 seconds left in the period. UMass Boston.
Ooh, that could have been a trip. No call.
No call from the officials. Puck is loose here. And this is a rush for the Eagles. Mary McCafferty up the left side. Another block from Kennedy. Another great save.
Oh boy, yeah, that's going to get called.
Going into the boards there was Mary McCafferty and Addie Buddington of the Eagles and Beacons respectively.
Yeah, that's tough. She's just trying to make a play on the puck there, and their stick got tangled up in the skates, and that's an easy call for the referees.
So we're going to play a little bit of 4-on-4 here. As Addie Buddington goes to the bench. Her second penalty in as many games. So we're going to have a minute 20 left. We're going to have a minute 20 of 4-on-4 action. 14 seconds of Elmira power play. And then 26 seconds of Elmira power play to begin the third period.
Who said you weren't good at math?
Most of my high school math teachers. Mordini here. Oh, and this is a chance here for the Eagles. Kennedy with a stop. It's still loose.
Unbelievable.
Oh, my goodness.
Another great stop. And when a goaltender's dialed in like this, folks, it can be so frustrating for the forwards.
Slides in. That one sailed right across the crease and harmlessly to the other side. Elmira playing like they're on a power play right now. Another 45 seconds of 4-on-4 action. Liz Cramp up the right side. Deflected high into the net.
Goaltenders have this way about them. Anybody who's watched a little bit of hockey, they can find these grooves. And when they get into a rhythm like that, you know, it makes it simplifies the position, right? You're so confident in your reads on the way the puck is moving. You don't have to think about things too much. You just do it. And when a goaltender can access that zone, boy, it can be difficult to beat them.
You stop psyching yourself out. You feel very dialed in.
Yeah, or overthinking it, maybe trying to do a little bit too much. And today, it's been none of that with Kennedy. She's very confident, very solid in the way she's playing the position. And it's going to get waved off. Nice job by Kozic. Just could be an opportunity.
15 seconds of 4-on-4 left. Out to Margot Butters. Misconnection there, sails all the way around to shots of the Beacons. Now Elmira trying to take control. That's the end of the 4-on-4 here. So we're going to have a few seconds of power play here, and a wise decision there by Kennedy coming out of the crease to cover that up.
Well, you mentioned it. So 8 seconds left here. Big draw. I'll be curious. Let's see what center's going to take it. Because all you want to do here is really just get this into your own corner and just take that clock down. But you need a center who's going to be on their strong side over there. This is a big draw for Wilbert. Goes right onto her goaltender, so we're going to have to do it again.
And a superb 2 seconds of action there as we're going to...
Well, Mordini with the smart play, just trying to bump that forward. Now it's going to be Wilbert again. With Bowden trying to do the exact same thing. Nice job by Wilbert tying up. I like that.
And that will put an end to the second period.
That's a nice play. Nice play by the sophomore to recognize the moment, right? And to tie up. You don't have to try to win that draw clean. You can see just tie it up and let that clock wind down. I didn't think we'd have 0-0 after 2, Millen. I really didn't. I got to be honest.
Yeah, I don't think either one of us necessarily wants to say on air how many Elmira goals we thought were going to be on the board. Bearing in mind this is a team. We saw at UMass Boston, just for you guys at home to understand the comparison. UMass Boston last night beat William Smith College 2-1. Elmira has played 2 games against William Smith College so far. First one, 3-2 game. They won it in overtime. Only close game they've had this season. Second game was a 10-0 runaway train of a blowout.
Yeah.
Little hard to know what to take, but this is a team that came into this game with 16 unanswered goals to their name. You thought there was going to be points on the board at some point.
Well, and I think there will be. The third period is going to be a lot of fun. I think from the Beacons' perspective, that was 2 solid defensive periods, and it's just becoming exceptionally frustrating for the Soaring Eagles, who are used to scoring, as we saw, 5-6 goals a game. 2 periods now where we don't have anything to show for it. You've got Kennedy playing outstanding. This is the best I've seen, and this is what you need if you're going to beat. If you're going to upset like this, you got to have a strong performance from your goaltender. That's been a check. Defensively, sound, haven't tried to do too much, kept simplified things. They're getting pucks out. They're connecting on a lot of those breakout passes. That's been a check. Offensively, getting opportunities. Now, they weren't able to score on some of those rebounds. I thought they had an opportunity to do so. They weren't able to capitalize on that. But again, just third period, this is a game that's well within reach, right? And the last thing you want to do is try to take an unnecessary risk too early in this period. Continue to do what you do, reset, and try to get this thing down as close as you can to, I would say, the 5-10 minute mark and see where you stand.
we are going to take a quick break here. We're going to send you the little video intro we've got for you for something that's going to be going on the men's basketball side. It's called the Black Coaches Classic. It's going to feature coaches and teams from UMass Boston, Tufts Leslie, and Brandeis men's basketball programs. I'm going to tell you a little bit about the event and why it's important. Then after that, we are going to come back with some updates from around Beaconville, around the conference, and some analysis of the second period. Stick around.
The concept for the event came to me just kind of through talking with other coaches in the business on both men's and women's side. I think the common theme was that we all were a little frustrated at times when we were assistant coaches with, kind of the lack of advancement and the stigmas that were being placed on us as, only a recruiter, things of those sorts. So, kind of came out of that, I think, with conversations, and I think like everybody, I spent a long time and a lot of hours on Zoom with a lot of conversation and access to coaches that I probably wouldn't have had in a normal year.
My first reaction was it was a no-brainer. I've known Jay for a long time, and obviously with everything that's gone on over the last couple of years with social justice and athletics and just the world in general, I thought it'd be a great opportunity for us to be part of it.
I think the event would have been important 18 years ago. I think the event is important now. I think with everything going on, I think it's important. We've read all those statements of support, all these athletic departments and coaches and schools. So I think now it's time.
I think it's important just because there's an attention on it. Unfortunately, due to, recent events in our country, it's, brought an awareness and has opened up some eyes and ears that maybe for a little while was a little bit dormant. So I think it's just important to capitalize on that attention that's currently there, and again, do it in a way that celebrates as opposed to something that's pointing a finger. And we just got to keep that momentum and keep getting our stories out there and getting our faces out there and just normalizing it, honestly, so that people could see that, hey, these guys are getting it done. Maybe that'll open the door for some more down the road.
We're not shying away from the issue. I think that's really the main thing. It just, like I said, it shows some type of recognition that there are places that, are giving Black coaches opportunity. I think that this event is, a step in the right direction. Of course, it's a lot more things that, need to improve in society. But I think, having an event like this and, putting some light on it is definitely a step in the right direction.
A great way to shine a light on, the awareness of, the amount of Black coaches that are at the D3 level in our state, but also to celebrate the coaches that are, at this level and doing it. I think there's a certain responsibility that comes with, being in this seat that I'm fortunate enough to be in. And I think the more that, you could bring light to it and awareness to it, to hopefully set the path for future guys to follow, as well as also showcase what we're capable of as Black men coaching.
It gives a lot of recognition to the Black coaches and I guess all the Black people that would like to eventually get into coaching one day. Have an event like this, to have all of these Black coaches to coach against each other, all in the same event, I think that is rare, and I think it's a special event.
It's going to help the growth of younger coaches believing that they have a chance to be successful, believing they have a chance to get a shot to coach at the Division III level of being a head coach. I think it definitely sheds light on some of the things that's been going on as far as minority coaches getting opportunities to coach. It's going to be one night where you get the chance to see 4 coaches coming from 4 really good universities compete.
I hope that there are great games, great competition, and I'm sure that there'll be a high skill level for sure of competition. I'm just looking forward to all of that skill level to be shown, by programs that are ran by Black coaches.
Obviously, I'm hoping obviously to get a win. That's one. 2, obviously just to interact with some of these other coaches going to be involved in the event, to have our players interact with their players, and to maybe form a bond that lasts for a long period of time, and also to show our kids in the other schools, their kids, that again, anything's possible. if you put your mind to it.
And for our players, I think it's important for them to be able to see black faces in a position of leadership. Not that that they don't see that or that they don't appreciate it, but I think the more the merrier. The more examples that they could get to see that black people could be in these roles, the better. Because when they graduate, they're all going to be in positions to either work for black people or potentially have to hire and make decisions on black people. So I think the more positive examples that they could have as they embark on their professional careers is the best thing that hopefully this event could continue to provide.
So I hope that we can have more faces on the television. So I hope that more kids now that they're younger, they're watching the game, they're mesmerized by the faces on TV the way I was mesmerized by John Thompson, John Chaney, Nolan Richardson, Doc Rivers, those guys, and even following for Charlie Titus, right? So I want young kids now to look over on the bench and see like, hey, that guy's in charge of $1 billion corporation, the Celtics. That guy's in charge of the world-renowned university, Tufts, Brandeis. That guy went back and played for his alma mater, and now he's, the head coach there, Leslie. So, that's what I want from it. I want other people to take things from it. I just want to be able to give.
Minutes of play, 49 shots on goal, none of them in it. Welcome back from the Edward T. Berry Ice Rink in the Clark Athletic Center on the campus of UMass Boston in Boston, Massachusetts. I'm Milton Posner. Matt Meisenbacher here with me. What has been about as exciting a hockey game as you could have asked for while having it still be scoreless.
That's a great point. Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Taking a look at these stats, we're seeing a little bit more of a population here in the power plays category. We're seeing the shots and saves being relatively even. What's the takeaway from this going forward?
I thought, the Beacons escaped at the beginning of that second period there were a few opportunities that Elmira just should have capitalized on. I mean, point blank. There were 2 pucks that I thought should have been in the back of the net at least, but it didn't happen. And then Kennedy made some, I would say, close to 5 outstanding stops the rest of that period that, again, could have been in the back of the net. So you escaped, but also, again, defensively, they've been strong all day. And I think offensively, the opportunities have been there, just haven't capitalized. Now, going into the third period, people have heard me say this before, I break it down into 4 or 5 minute segments. And as long as you can make it within those segments and count yourself in a win, you can usually, in a tie score like this, you can usually come out with a W, right? So for the first 5, get a feeling for maybe any adjustments that Elmira is coming out with, line changes or maybe some type of strategy that they're trying to do, something new they're trying to throw at us. And then the next 2 5-minute segments is, can we find a way to get the lead, right? And then hold on to it. So it's kind of a fun way to break down the third period, but this game could go really any of a number of different ways.
We are going to take a look now around Beaconville and see what has been going on with these other teams. Like we said in the first period break, if you have hopped to watch the men's hockey game, just know that it will make us very sad. You should wait till this one's over because this one's going very well. That said, the 15-ranked men's hockey team is doing very well for themselves against Elmira College, up 1-0 after the opening 20 minutes of play. Women's basketball has a 3-point lead over Wellesley College, about a few hundred feet to our left. Men's basketball has not started their game against Colby Sawyer College. The only one not in the concentric overlapping thingy-mabob. That's going to be at 7:30 p.m. tonight. To the New England Hockey Conference scoreboard, you can see a little bit more about what the women's hockey squads are doing. Plymouth State up on Salem State 1-0 in the third period. Southern Maine trailing Castleton at the end of 2. Norwich and Trinity College. Trinity College actually up on a 7th-ranked Norwich team. It's going to be interesting to see how that one goes, but not interesting enough for you to change the channel. I repeat, it's exactly not quite interesting enough that you should keep watching this. And then William Smith playing the second day of a back-to-back after facing UMass Boston yesterday. Tied at the end of 2 periods with 2 goals apiece against Johnson and Wales. Looking ahead, it's the Codfish Bowl. It's the post-Thanksgiving game where we find out who got food poisoning from the Thanksgiving turkey and is unable. No, I'm just playing. A week from today, Trine University will be the opponent for UMass Boston, 12 p.m. start time. The next day, it's going to be Bowdoin or Stevenson. depending on the outcome of the first games, or of the first day's games. The time will depend as well, presumably sometime in the early to mid-afternoon, we would think. Then they're going to play December 7th at Connecticut College. That's going to be the first game of a back-to-back. That will be it for them for a couple of weeks. Going to resume play toward the end of December. Now, to the highlights. To the fun highlights from the second period that continued the energy of the first.
Yeah, more of the same. There's not going to be any goals that we can highlight here, but
darn it.
You'll take a look and just see more of the same. I think a lot of highlights from Kennedy here I would expect, and if they load, we would be able to tell you. There we go.
There we go.
But again, and just take a note as how aggressive Kennedy's being. I mean, a lot of these saves, she's really not into the blue paint until well after the shot takes place, which is good to see. She's not the biggest goaltender, but she's aggressive enough, and boy, her reads, and that was the one I thought that should have been in the back of the net, and that was Bowden too. I thought for sure that had a chance of going in. But again, like, just quick reflex there, trusted her read, made the save, and got it out of harm's way. And then a couple of rushes from the Beacons here. Another good save by Kennedy. That one had a chance to go in, but again, did not. But the Beacons had a few opportunities there on those rebounds, and I think those have been there all day. We saw that in the first period. We saw that in the second period. They really got to find a way to crash that net just a little bit harder and try to tuck that one home, see if they can get a lead.
Going to do a bit of a reset here on the individual stats. Leading the way in shots for UMass Boston is Kelsey Ryan. 10 shots, 9 of them on goal. She's been especially active. 4 shots apiece as well for McDougal, for Katie Leffler as well. On the Elmira side, clearly leading the way, it's Bowden. Eliza Bowden for the Eagles. 9 shots, 7 of them on goal. So both of these have been highly efficient about somehow shooting in volume and also not taking a ton of bad shots, distance shots. The opportunities have been there. The rebounds have been there for both squads at different points here, to the point where it's kind of seemed almost like divine intervention that's keeping the puck out of the back of the net at times. But then again, you also credit the goaltenders, especially Victoria Kennedy.
Yeah, she's been great. She's been great, and I really like the way that she continues to maintain consistency. She's been aggressive, and I liked what I've seen from her in net today.
We are going to take a quick break here inside of 2 minutes to puck drop in the third period. We'll be right back. You're watching UMass Boston Women.
Being a part of the different activities and organizations that I've been a part of, I'm actually able to see myself where I'm like, hey, I actually can make a change. I'm one person that can make a difference.
Division III has helped me to develop teamwork skills, critical thinking skills, time management skills.
It's not just about basketball, or it's not just about school, it's about developing yourself as a person altogether.
College has given me the flexibility to pursue my passions and my interests, and I've recreated my identity for myself aside from just being an athlete.
My greatest personal discovery has been that I am capable of doing things that I didn't know I was capable of doing.
To be able to study what I wanted to and continue to play the sport I love, all of those things came together very nicely in one package in Division III.
I'm the first undergraduate alumnus to lead this university. I'm very proud of that. I was literally able to transform my life because of the University of Massachusetts, and I want that for every single student that walks through the door.
Here come the Beacons. Here come the Eagles. 20 minutes to settle the madness. 85 shots thrown in the direction of the net, 49 of them on the net itself, none of them in the back of it. Great goaltending has kept it there. A thicket of sticks in the middle has kept that there. Maybe a little bit of luck for the defenses has kept that there.
Yeah, all the above.
But for UMass Boston, what's the key here? Especially, they're coming into this having to kill off, if I'm remembering correctly, 26 seconds of an Elmira power play.
Yeah, I mean, that's first and foremost, right, is let's get back to 5-on-5 here. But you've worked so hard for 2 periods. You want to continue to do the things that have made you successful today, and that's been playing strong defense. And again, we continue to have clock issues.
All right, 0 seconds to play here in the 3rd period, and we're just about ready to get things going. Okay.
I'm trying to see.
It says 42 seconds on the, I believe, I'm pretty confident here that that's not supposed to be there's supposed to be less time remaining on this power play. It was there was a minute 20 left. It was 40 seconds of the power play initially. It should have started at about 25.
Let's take a look and see. They might be going off a manual clock on that power play there, and the player will be released early. Let's keep an eye on that.
The scoreboard says 25 seconds remaining of the power play as Elmira gains the offensive zone. Swing it here. UMass Boston's going to eject it. That's going to sail all the way down. And indeed, they let him out according to the manual clock. That's absolutely right.
Turnover.
Oh, and a turnover here. Kelsey Ryan. Oh, rebound loose.
Oh, man, you're not going to get much better than that. I think Ryan's going to want to have that one back. A good save by Kuberger, but a bad turnover by Elmira. She was in all alone.
Crocker flings it across the boards, and some fan can take that as a souvenir.
That should stay in the zone. That should be an in-zone draw here for.
You ever caught a puck at a hockey game?
I had trouble catching pucks in net, in my own right, but no, never caught one at a hockey game either.
I somehow got one at the last hockey game I went to as a spectator.
What game was it?
Northeastern women's hockey playing against Holy Cross, which is about as funny and entertaining as hockey gets.
Did you catch it clean?
No, it was just like on the seat when I sat down. It was just kind of hanging.
Bad.
Caught's a little bit misleading, I guess. It was just kind of hanging out there and no one had noticed.
That's a freebie. Whoa!
And coming. Well, that's the only way a puck's ended up in the back of the net so far.
I think it's incidental. Yeah.
And that's not gonna. That is of course not gonna count.
Yeah, it's Elfring that made contact with Kenny there, but it's just incidental. I don't think that's going to be a penalty. It seemed like she was just looking for the rebound and lost an edge.
Is it possible that Claire Elfring might have thought, if I do this at this point, they'll confuse me for the puck?
Not yet. Well, potentially. You never quite know.
18:45. It did appear to be incidental. It was. If it's intentional, you have to wonder why.
Yeah, no, I don't. Not on that play.
I don't think so. 18:40 to play in the 3rd period. UMass Boston swinging here. Rachel Burum trying to take it, but Elmira will recover and fling down into their offensive zone. They hit right off the divider between the boards there.
That was a trip. No call. Burum went down on a trip. That could have been called. They missed a few today.
A lot of them kind of come in that corner area, going hard into the boards there. This is Vera. Into the neutral zone. His body's hitting the ice every which way. Looks like we're going to have a whistle on the play.
It's offsides, I believe. A little bit choppy start to the 3rd period.
Yeah, for both squads. Neither team's really connecting these passes all that well.
Well, they're aware, right? 0-0. It's like you don't want to be the player that makes that big mistake that ends up in the back of your net, so I can understand that.
Meter flings to Harris. To McCafferty along the boards. Now Meter takes it. Pass comes across, just broken up well enough to pop the puck over the goal. It'll stay in the zone.
Yeah, Wilbert got a piece of it. I think that's what caused the misdirection. She's had a good game here today after that little bit of an injury yesterday. I like what I've seen from 17.
Puck trickles out behind the net, speeds along the boards. Flung into the neutral zone, recovered there by the captain of the Eagles, Sydney Harris. Butters, we're going around and around like the hands on a clock. In the neutral zone, and a chance here for Elmira, broken up there by Riefler. McCafferty now, left dot, flings in, pad save.
And a great rebound control too. That could have easily gone back to the slot. Kenny was able to tuck it into the corner.
She's tucked it in the corner. She's smothered up when she's had to. She's been the better rebound controller of the two goalies so far.
Certainly.
But Kuberger has been good enough to keep the shots out of the back of her net.
Yeah, and see,
Is that our first icing call of the game?
I don't know about that, but that's an unforced error there, right? You know, and it's a simple breakout pass you miss on, and icing now, you got an opportunity for Elmira in the offensive zone. Again, you ask a lot of your center here to win this draw, which she does.
Along the boards again. Again going clockwise. Now they reverse. Tend to flip around in the corner. Now to Morton. Flips it in a few feet wide of the left post. Oh, and that one's loose. Flung way high there. Elmira taking some wild, wild swings at it here. 16 minutes, 16 remaining. And number 16, that'd be Katie Leffler, takes it. It's a 2-on-4, but the Beacons have the momentum. Flung in, body save there. Looked like off the shoulder of the netminder Kuberger. Bowden. Puck comes out to center ice. It's Morgan Mordini trying to control. Slingshot in, broken up there a little bit by Liz Cramp, and it was enough. Out behind the net. Meyer with good positioning. Another great save by Kennedy.
Beacons are a little too passive here. That puck's going to get out, but too passive in the defensive zone. An opportunity, though.
UMass dispossessed right on the goal line there. Puck squibs out. And Elmira taking it. Up the near side boards. It's Bowden. She'll flip it down. They will go for a line change. Everyone except Crocker, who stays out to give chase. And UMass Boston will do the same here.
It's going to get waved off. Beacons are fortunate. That was going for icing.
Flip down, misconnection there. Kaylee Kosick, excuse me. Now here come the Eagles. Sticked away there, nobody waiting for the pass in the slot. 14:44 to play. Not a ton of really crisp, clear, accurate shots here so far in the third period. Edgerton almost flips it up and over the boards. Manning and Heath giving chase for the Eagles.
Yeah, it's a feeling out process, isn't it? Neither team is really doing much of anything. They're just kind of...
We got a lost stick here. Beacons are going to flip it down and give chase.
Oh, that's a slash. Yeah, there you go. That's a power play for the Beacons. Most definitely.
Anna Gustafson there getting her stick slapped clean out of her hands. And the first power play of the third period is the 4th overall for UMass Boston.
Wilbert, I think, drew the penalty. And you know what? Good on her. Coming off whatever she suffered yesterday, coming into this hockey game, we've said her name a lot today. I like what I've seen. Third line, not logging the same minutes as those top two lines, but still finding a way to be effective.
UMass Boston's got 2 minutes of man advantage here as Elmira immediately flips it all the way down. It's going to be Jenny Heath on the penalty here, her first. 4th overall for the Eagles. UMass Boston's got 2. Almost all of them coming in that second period. After a very clean first. 13:33 to play.
And just try to get some shots here. You know, that's all you're trying to do. Some of these girls looking a little exhausted, just don't have that same leg power they had in the first 2 periods. They've logged a lot of minutes. So you got to try to keep it simple. That's not what you need.
On a bad turnover here. Chance for the Eagles. And they come, and another great save by Kennedy. Had Mordini bearing down on her and stood tall.
Bailed out Kozic. And tough turnover on the blue line. You know if you're going to be running the point, you got no one behind you. But a great stop by Kennedy, and we've been saying that all day. She's locked in, folks. There's nothing more to say about it. She's in the zone.
Spinning puck there, flipped into the corner, still bouncing it around. Behind the net now, UMass Boston still got a minute left. only good shots so far in the power plays come from their opponent. Liz Cramp giving chase into the corner now. Sydney Harris trying to control. He's got two Beacons over there with her trying to dig the puck out, and they're content to keep the puck in the corner as long as they can. Precious seconds ticking off the clock here. Elmira ultimately comes out with it. It's been a tricky power play for UMass Boston so far. 30 seconds left on it.
Yeah, not really too much of anything here. With this little time left, I try to just get in the zone, maybe try to get a shot on goal, try to build off a rebound, and there is a pass in front.
Oh, and a centering pass there, just sticked away. 15 seconds on the power play. Comes out to Butters. Mishandles it a little bit, has to go back below the blue line.
It's unfortunate. She had a lane to the net too there, Butters did. With a heavy shot like hers, you could really use that in a moment like this.
Back to even strength. 12 minutes to play after a generally sloppy power play from UMass Boston. Can they apply the pressure now? They're very heavy on the forecheck. Puck is staying below the goal line. Leffler trying to dig it out. She does. Flips it back to Buddington. Puck ricocheting all over the place. Gustafson. They fling it in. It's being kicked and beaten and bounced behind the net. Cross ice pass, waiting for it's Eliza Bowden. Here come the Eagles. Crocker poked away. Gustafson takes it.
Yeah, good stick by Buddington on their top scorer on Crocker there. Was able to poke that and disrupt that rush.
The puck is finding the sticks all of a sudden. UMass Boston's going to swap a couple of players here.
Good composure by Buddington to circle back on that play and not just fling it to an area. You're seeing the growth of some of these players as we play on.
Bowden with open space, pad save, rebound comes all the way out to the top of the left dot. Elmira continues to swing from deep. And Victoria Kennedy continues to calmly put them aside.
Oh man, if she could have just found Cramp. They were 2-on-1 on Kozic.
Oh, Bureman, a rebound there. We have seen a couple of instances.
Yeah, they're squeaking out.
With Leonie Kuberger not exactly controlling rebounds that you know she normally would handle.
Yeah, not that Velcro you like to see. Kennedy's got it tonight. Puck's hit her. She's putting them into spots where the players can't get them or she's holding on to them. And with Kuberger, not the same effect.
Draw ultimately winds up in the hands of the Eagles. But once again, UMass Boston not making it easy for them on the breakout. Fight along the boards. Merging with it is Kozic. Kozic stymied on the drive to the net, and here come the Eagles. Can they break out this time? Not quite.
Should be offside, yeah, it is.
Dumped down. UMass Boston's going to swap the whole line. Kozic sends it down beneath the goal line. We move underneath the 10-minute mark. Halfway home here in the final regulation period. McArdle swings it wide. Swooping behind the net, Harris. Excuse me, that was Riva. Chasing it down here, Tretchell of the Beacons. But Elmira's found their passing touch just enough here to start connecting some of them.
You can see they're just a little bit confused as to what to do. Great chance here.
Oh, and a great sliding stop there.
Great stop by Kuberger. Great stop. That was labeled. And that was Reffler. A turnover again. There's been a few turnovers in this period from the Soaring Eagles. Reffler was able to corral that in the slot and was going glove side high. Kuberger was able to get up there in a hurry and corral that save. A nice shot and a good stop there by one.
Allie Riefler almost taking advantage there on the defensive zone turnover by the Eagles. And now the Eagles have a chance. Galeniak soaring up the left side and ultimately flings to nobody in open space. Is it going to be a turnover here for UMass Boston? Not quite. They've still got the puck. They'll fling it down. Gustafson gives way. Liz Cramp rejoins the festivities. 8 minutes 30 remaining.
And the closer we creep to that 5-minute mark, you really have nothing to lose for the Beacons. You've played a great game here today. I would take a few calculated risks. I really would. And try to sneak a lead here late in this third period. You know, you try to maybe get one of your forwards behind the Eagle D and connect on a pass, just something to try and create all you need is real one solid opportunity, maybe two.
It's been a little while here on this play since either team has had clear possession of the puck. UMass Boston emerges with it and immediately pilfered there. Beautiful defensive play in the neutral zone there. Covering up the puck is going to be Kennedy. In the neutral zone, that was Lexi Hoffman. We have not called her name yet. Absolutely stealing the cookies of the UMass Boston forward.
Curious to see if the Eagles are going to go for a change. They're not. They're going to keep that existing line out there. Looked like it'd be Morton on the draw against Leffler, or Ryan rather. Ryan wins it.
Crocker, Bowden, the big guns for Elmira stay out there. That dominating top line. Top line defense is out there too. Oh, and it's one of those defenders fires it in. Puck still loose, and UMass Boston clears.
That was a heavy shot by Heath, my goodness.
An absolute missile from Jenny Heath, the senior defenseman. Buck still carrying around Crocker. Tried to connect that one with her top line mate Mordini, no good. Mordini gets it back. Looking for a centering pass. Oh, what a brilliant pad save by Kennedy.
Yeah, terrible turnover by Butters. Her goaltender just bailed her out.
She was moving to her left. The shot came to her right, and she just got the edge of the pad to the puck.
She's been doing it all night.
Under 7 minutes to go now. Victoria Kennedy playing like a star. Eliza Bowden now swings the pass, broken up there.
Good block by Drill.
Jane and Drill of the Beacons, and now UMass Boston has a chance. Instead, they're going to dump it down and opt to swap lines as the puck covered up in net by Kuberger.
Becomes a serious chest smash now for these coaches is which lines, especially on whistles, which lines you're going to put out there. Obviously, everyone says, oh, your top line, but if you use them here, if you're Elmira, you use them in a defensive zone, that means you can't use them in the offensive zone, right? They're going to have to change. So Elmira wins that draw, but that's just kind of what's going on here from a coaching perspective is where do I use my lines? And at this period, you got to be really critically thinking about when I use my top lines and when I give them a rest.
Got Elmira here trying to clear out of their own zone, and they finally do. It's Brooke McCardle.
Great stick.
We have seen great sticks all afternoon here from both teams, particularly from UMass Boston. Heat seekers on the sticks, it would seem. Check right there against Biram as Riva went to the bench, prevented the breakout along the left side. Puck comes all the way around. McCafferty fighting for it with Liz Cramp. Here's Kelsey Ryan. Got red eyes there for a second, but had it taken away from her. Now coming back. Aggressive play from Kelsey Ryan.
I would be willing to say Beacon's outworking the Eagles a little bit here in this period. Seem to want it just a touch more.
Battle in the neutral zone. Beacon's going to take it. Slides the pass to Gustafson.
Smart play, getting that deep.
5 minutes to play in the third period here. It's been exciting all the way through in spite of the lack of scoring, or maybe because of it.
Oh boy.
Here comes the Eagles, no good there on the shot from Galeniak.
A solid cross-ice pass there. She missed the net.
Liz Cramp. Everyone else comes off. She's got 1-on-5. She's got a chance here. But too many sticks in the neighborhood.
Yeah, you can see end of a shift too. Just very tired.
Galeniak
throw it in the zone. Oh, she's going to go back for more. Incredible.
Liz Cramp's not done. Centering pass broken up. It's loose in the slot. Wraparound slingshot, no good. Comes back the other way. Burum giving chase. Out to Buddington. 4 minutes 10 to play, still no score. Oh, and a smart pass over there. But a missed one. Kozic. A little bit discombobulated on the Eagles side right now. They don't seem to be sure what they want to do with it.
Yeah, Beacons are all over them. They're having a tough time getting out of their own zone here.
Forechecking. Great aggression here in the last 3-4 minutes. 3.5 minutes to go now. UMass Boston. Well, they got a chance out in front there. And blocked there, taking a spill to the ice is Jenny Heath, the top line defender there for the Eagles.
Another chance for Wilbert. That puck came from behind the net. She was right below the face-off circle there, and a quick wrister. Huberger was able to corral that and make a save. Both these goaltenders, held their own today. Honestly, you can't fault them, obviously. Can't fault them for everything. 0-0.
UMass Boston wins the draw. Ryan, centering pass, comes in all the way through the slot. Loose stick. It was Leffler's, and she retrieves it.
Yeah, Elmira is struggling right now. I mean, they just don't have an answer for this Beacons forecheck. They are being clearly outworked here with 3 minutes left in the third period. You got to like what you see if you're Coach Blanchard.
And they finally break the ice. Morgan Mordini misses the flip back pass. UMass Boston, could this be a chance to run? Katie Leffler, all by herself now as they go for a line change. Fires a shot.
Smart play.
And now will be a chance for...
Really smart play from Leffler. Just the end of a shift, try to get that on net, force the goaltender to cover it. And that's what I was talking about earlier with Gustafson. Gustafson got it on net, peeled to the net, or peeled to a bench, and goalie was able to play it. Leffler kept going to the net. Goaltender was forced to freeze it, and you get an in-zone draw.
2:40 to play. Tim Crowley, head coach of the Eagles, swaps his line. Danielle Blanchard already had on the UMass Boston side.
Great play. Burham, nice defense coming back.
Oh, it's loose in the slot here. Who's getting to it first? It's Riva, sticked away. Oh my goodness, Victoria Kennedy.
Another one.
Oh my goodness. Reflexes that would make a cat jealous.
That's a tough icing there. I don't honestly think about a timeout. I think about a timeout here if I'm Blanchard. Yeah, she's going to take it. Yeah, it's just too much to risk.
We are going to keep it here. I mean, Victoria Kennedy zoned in beyond belief.
Yeah, sometimes as a goaltender, you find certain nights like this where you just see it so well, and it's one of those things. It's hard. There's nothing she necessarily did. I guarantee you, nothing she necessarily did different in her warm-up or something she ate where I got to do that again, and I can access this zone. It's just certain nights you find a rhythm and you stay in it throughout, and you can see Kennedy hasn't been out of position once tonight. It's just a tremendous goaltending performance. And her counterpart, Huberger, has made enough saves to keep this scoreless as well.
It's 38 saves for Victoria Kennedy, 30 for Huberger. But then you take into account the diets that they have had. Victoria Kennedy has had to face many more difficult shots, close range, point-blank tries. I mean, she not only ate her Wheaties this morning, it seems like she ate everyone else's Wheaties.
Yeah,
too.
she must have.
It seems like she just cleaned out the grocery store aisle at this point.
Plus fluids, yeah, without a doubt. She's been tremendous and definitely the number one star for this hockey game, I would say. But still 2:16 left in this period. We need an outcome. Somebody's going to have to score eventually. I guess, college hockey, I
guess not.
You can get a tie, yeah. But
it'd be a lot more fun if someone did.
I would like to see an outcome, yeah.
2 minutes, 16 seconds to play. A draw in UMass Boston's defensive zone.
It's a good win by Burham.
Jane Ann Drill giving chase. Loose puck here. Where's it going to wind up? It's in the pads, and it gets poked away there. Dangerous play. Jane Ann Drill still giving chase over there in the corner. Now it's squibs loose. Beacon's trying to do something with it. Oh, and they overloaded. They get back now. Off the skate of Buddington, and a major...
Cramp can chip it by her. She could be gone here.
Liz Cramp. Oh.
Good stick.
Excellent stick in there from Holly Riva.
Yeah.
Of the Eagles.
She was with her stride for stride. I thought Cramp had a chance to be on her own there, but Riva was right there with her.
Minute 30 to go. Elmira now. swerving into the neutral zone, losing possession of the puck. UMass Boston, can they catch him in a line change now? Kelsey Ryan wants to. Swerving into the middle, has it taken away, and regains it. Centering pass, does it show? Great stick check there by Heath.
If she was a righty, she had a chance. She's a lefty and therefore couldn't convert on that cross-ice pass.
Oh, and Bowden now has a chance of her own, flings it high, minute to go.
Boy, she has a heavy shot.
Missile after missile from the top line from Elmira. They've gone wide, they've gone high, and they've gone to Victoria Kennedy's seemingly infinitely long pad. 45 seconds to play in the third period now. UMass Boston's going to opt for likely their last line change of the period. It's the top line out there now. Mordini. Oh, almost by a matter of inches.
Oh, that was close. That was close.
Centering pass trickles behind the net. 20 seconds to go. Morton. Bowden. 15 to play. Bowden, right dot, flings it in. Sticked away. Looked like it got a little bit of the pad of Victoria Kennedy as well. 5 seconds left. Burham breaks out. Chance to fling it. And after 3, we are still scoreless in Boston.
Elmira came real close there. That was just got a piece of Victoria Kennedy's blocker. She was able to get it into the corner, and believe that's a career high for her in saves with 39. So both teams get a point, and then I believe an extra point up for grabs, right, if a team can come away with a victory here.
Yeah, so it's exactly right. 1 point for each team, and then a point to whoever comes away with this one. New scoring rules this season: 3 for a win, still none for a loss, 2 for an overtime win, 1 for a tie.
That is I know it's overtime and still some hockey to play here, but this is a win. This is no moral victories in hockey, but this is one of them. You know, to tie this hockey game against an Elmira team that, you know, everyone probably figured was going to be an easy Elmira win is a tremendous building step for this Beacons hockey team. And again, more hockey to be played here, another point up for grabs. But I think this team is going to be very happy with getting the win last night and then putting forth what I've seen is their best effort this season at home against a very strong number 5 in the country, Elmira College.
Yeah, this is what you're watching here, folks. The young women skating around in the purple jerseys are the 5th ranked team in the country. This is not a trivial tie for UMass Boston to earn. Absolutely ridiculous stuff. They've been energetic. They have been all over the ice.
Well, we'll see. So 5-minute OT.
5 minutes to see if we can settle this a little bit. It's going to be 3-on-3.
Plenty of ice.
They're going to swap nets here. Kennedy skating down to the net to the right of your screen. Kuberger occupying the one to your left. Out there for the Eagles starting now, it's going to be Morgan Mordini, Eliza Bowden, and Emma Crocker. Or excuse me, not Emma Crocker. It's going to be Maddie Morton. So a second line defender joining the forwards on the top line. For UMass Boston, to get things going, it's going to be Katie Leffler, Kelsey Ryan, and Addie Buddington all on the top line, Buddington being the lone defender of the two.
What a moment for Buddington. Junior defenseman. I thought she looked really strong today. I really did. I thought she was up there for maybe the best defenseman. I'm glad she has this opportunity in overtime.
Elmira winning the draw. Wide open spaces now, 3-on-3 hockey. 5 minutes to see who gets an extra point here, if anyone.
Oh,
here
boy.
comes Mordini. She's got a lane. Fires. Oh, my goodness.
Missed the net.
Just missed. UMass Boston coming the other way now. Leffler fires from distance. Easy save there for Kuberger. Coming out now is Corinne Tretchell for the Beacons. Tretchell into the corner. Puck comes to the left dot. Slides it in. Tretchell.
Big save.
Oh, and Kuberger covers it up. My goodness, again and again.
On the doorstep.
Right to the doorstep.
Unbelievable. Tretchell was right there all alone. You got one, I think maybe 2 shots on goal there. Kuberger was able to stop both of them.
Kuberger standing tall in net. Victoria Kennedy has done her piece already. No matter how this turns out, she's got a career high in saves here with 41.
Possession is everything here.
Crocker now giving chase. Eagles coming around the net here. Crocker swerving to the middle. Pass instead comes to the point. Stick down there. It's Claire Meter out there with Crocker and Jenny Heath.
Chance here. Here goes Kozik.
Here's Kaylee Kozik on the breakaway. Kozik fires wide.
Just missed blocker side.
Oh, and who's getting to this one first? It's Crocker. He's got a shot on Kennedy, and she scores! Elmira takes it in overtime.
That's tough. Boy, I'll tell you what an effort by this Beacons team. And I know they're going to be disappointed, especially I know Kozic there had a breakaway chance, missed it, and then that's what you see in overtime. Typically, if you miss on that opportunity, it's coming right back down the other way. Crocker, their leading scorer. I mean, if you're Elmira, that's who you want to have the puck in that situation. The forehand backhand was able to get it past Victoria Kennedy. And I know it's going to be disappointing for her. She put forth her best effort. I think it's hard to argue otherwise. Her best effort of the season. I know that's disappointing if you're the Beacons, but that is a strong effort. And three plus strong periods from a hockey team that is growing before our eyes. Very impressive.
Short of a win, I mean, this was as good as they could have asked for.
Most definitely.
They played them close. They played them well.
And people are going to take notice. You know, people are going to look at their scoreboard and see, wow, overtime, UMass Boston, 1-0. I mean, kept it close all game. You know, they're going to be on notice now. This isn't going to be a team that's going to be able to fly under the radar, and I think you got some of that here tonight. I think Elmira came in ill-prepared for the effort that the Beacons were going to put forward, and the Beacons were right there, stride for stride with them all game. I think anybody who watches hockey game would agree they were right there with them. And it just came down to one extra play there at the end of the hockey game. Crocker was able to tuck it home.
The only other team that's held them this close is that William Smith team. They took them to overtime, same deal. Elmira took it by 1. That said, Elmira came out the next night and flattened him 10-0.
Right.
So that leaves a bit of a worse taste in your mouth here. UMass Boston's going to get another shot at Elmira, and it's going to come on January 28th, about 2 months from now. But from now, we're going to go to a quick commercial. When we come back, we got a post game for you with some final stats, the stars of the game. We're going to talk to head coach Danielle Blanchard on what she saw from her team today. Stick around, you're not going to want to miss it.
Being a part of the different activities and organizations that I've been a part of, I'm actually able to see myself where I'm like, hey, I actually can make a change. I'm one person that can make a difference.
Division III has helped me to develop teamwork skills, critical thinking skills, time management skills.
It's not just about basketball, or it's not just about school. It's about developing yourself as a person altogether.
College has given me the flexibility to pursue my passions and my interests, and I've recreated my identity for myself aside from just being an athlete.
My greatest personal discovery has been that I am capable of doing things that I didn't know I was capable of doing.
To be able to study what I wanted to and continue to play the sport I love, all of those things came together very nicely in one package in Division III.
The final score is 1-0 in favor of Elmira. They scored it in overtime. It came from Emma Crocker. It's going to be her 5th goal of the season, tying Eliza Bowden, her teammate, her line mate, for the lead. And in her 101st career game, that represents her 54th goal. Hard for UMass Boston to be too down in the dumps about this one. Yes, it's a disappointing ending. But, I mean, this is an Elmira team that won the UCHC conference all 4 years they were in their regular season and tournament. Went to a few NCAA tournaments, went to the Frozen Four. This is a team with a pedigree. This is a team that when they walk in, their resume's already been there for 5 minutes. This is a success by basically every other measure.
Yeah, I think the players who are going to be most disappointed are probably Victoria Kennedy. She deserved a win today. You know, anytime a goaltender puts forth that type of effort, you want to get them a W. Probably Kozic, you know, what are you going to do? You're on a breakaway, you took a shot, you missed the net. I mean, it happens, right? And I know she probably wants to have that opportunity back. And I think Coach Blanchard will probably be the most disappointed. She had an opportunity to beat her mental rival, right, from her days in Plattsburgh. And, you know, it does unfortunately go down in the loss column, an overtime loss. But overall, there's so much to build off this hockey game. And I would be shocked if this film isn't used to show these girls what they're capable of doing, right? And we're there toe-to-toe with the number 5 team in the country, really for 3+ periods. So I think it's a great way, it's a great moment in this season for this team to build off of and say, hey, if we can do this night in and night out, or at least come with this type of effort, we're going to win a lot of hockey games. So I think there's a lot to take out of this game, a lot to be proud of, and you didn't get the outcome you maybe had hoped for, but all the other pieces were there.
And I mean, you see Elmira kind of drop into this conference like a paratrooper, just sort of loaded to the gun to the brim with weapons. It's a daunting thing to have happen, especially you're coming out of a pandemic year where you didn't play as a team. You're coming out of a year where you're coming in with 8 freshmen.
Yep.
You have a head coach that gets hired. She was hired October 18th. The season opener against Suffolk was October 30th. The assistant coach on staff right now was hired, I think this week, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And the effort that they put up, 42 saves for Kennedy, that's a career high for her. We're going to see where she winds up landing in our stars. But 73 shots lofted out there by the Eagles, 43 of them on net. I mean, it's preposterous, the workload that she faced, and she never faltered. And the one that she ultimately gave up, you really can't blame her for. What you have in that moment is a 5th-year senior with 100 games under her belt and more
100+ points,
more goals than there are stars in the sky.
Yeah,
bearing down on you to the extent that you can be okay giving up a game-winning goal.
Yeah, that's hockey, right? I mean, we see that in the NHL all the time. 3-on-3, it can go either way. It's just a matter of capitalizing when you get the opportunities. But, yeah, no, there's nothing. Kennedy's going to feel disappointed initially, but I think when she goes back and goes through it in her mind later on after things settle, she's going to be very happy with the way she played. And I think defensively the Beacons proved that they are capable of defending against really high caliber talent. You know, I think they proved that to themselves tonight. I saw a lot of girls growing on the ice. Buddington is out there to start the overtime period. You know, that's a moment for her. That's pretty cool. So, yeah, definitely a lot to build off of. And I think as a goaltender, Victoria Kennedy really solidified herself as one of the best in the conference.
The door, as we can take a look at the final team standings, the door to the conference championship now runs through Elmira. And UMass Boston kicked the door open today. Just because it ultimately wound up closed on them doesn't necessarily mean that they can walk away from today without anything that they can be happy about. We take a look at the final stats.
Well, on top of that, they lost their 2 losses against the top 2 teams were 1-0 losses. Tonight against Elmira, and then another at Southern Maine. So, you know, take that for what it's worth. They're both still losses, but the top-end talent in this conference, you were right there with them for the entire game.
It's, you know, having talked about the shots already, what stands out to me in this final graphic is the power plays. It was, as much as you don't necessarily harangue a team that played up to a lot of its potential here, there were opportunities on the power play that could have let them put this one away in regulation. That was the area where they had the clear edge over Elmira.
Yeah, certainly. Yeah, I would agree. And, you know, I think on both sides, right, there were opportunities. Elmira, you know, had a few chances where they weren't able to capitalize, and the Beacons had a few chances as well that, you know, they weren't able to capitalize. And just the way this hockey game went. But ultimately, Elmira comes out on top, and the Beacons will use this as a building moment for the rest of the season.
We are going to take a look now at the stars of the game, and if you have to guess who the top performer is going to be, then I don't know, you weren't paying attention. It's going to be Victoria Kennedy, playing pretty unquestionably the best game of her young collegiate career.
Oh yeah, I mean, statistically it was, right? She had the most saves of her career tonight. So 42 for her, very, very busy, was there the entire game, first through third and the overtime. Second star, Liz Cramp. I like the way these next two played. You know, the block shots and the shots of their own. You know, you can throw a fourth star there with Kozic. I really like the way this line played tonight. I thought they had the best momentum, sustained momentum, aside from Leffler and Ryan. We know what we're going to get with them every single night, but I really like the way these two played, and that's why they're getting the second and third start tonight.
We're going to do a quick look ahead. We're going to talk to Coach Blanchard and to Victoria Kennedy in just a moment, but for the quick second now, we're going to do the look ahead and see what is going on next for this team. Like we mentioned, it's going to be the Codfish Bowl, November 27th. That's a week from today against Trine University. 12 p.m. start time for that one. The day after that against Bowdoin or Stevenson. The opponent and the time to be determined by the results on the 27th. Connecticut College the weekend after that. We are going to take a quick break here. When we come back, we are going to talk to Victoria Kennedy and to head coach Danielle Blanchard of the Beacon. Stick around.
I did receive a non-athletic scholarship upon entering school.
I got the presidential scholarship, which was huge for me.
I think there's more opportunities for academic scholarships in Division III.
I did receive academic scholarships. Just being involved on campus, being a leader, all those things combined kind of get me recognized. It's a great experience for me.
Cheer for the stumbles.
I mean, I think in general, you know, they're in there, they're hurting a little bit. They put together a pretty good game overall, you know, shift by shift, period by period, and they worked hard tonight. So I think the good thing is that they are upset, because that means that they care and they want to win these big moments. And I think moving into, you know, the future, into not trying to get too far ahead of ourselves, but I think it's a good thing. A little adversity, you know, is going to help in the long run.
And what does it mean, I mean, especially for a team, you know, they got you as their head coach coming in a little bit late. It's a team with 8 freshmen. It's a team that didn't get to play last year because of the pandemic, whereas Elmira did. What does it mean for the team and their confidence to hang with a program like this?
Yeah, I think it's definitely going to build their confidence up. I mean, it's taken a little bit of time here, you know, nothing on them at all, but me getting here a little bit late, like you said, you know, coming off of a COVID year. I think they're just starting to transition right now and develop into the team that they can be. I think, you know, in a couple more weeks, you know, the confidence is going to continue to grow and build, and I think we have a nice little team.
And lastly, is there anything out there today that you want them to work on going forward, or parts of the game that you could maybe wish you could have back, or just want to improve on in general?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's always room for improvement. I think, you know, we're starting to move the puck a little bit better, you know, not throwing it all the time. But I think the good thing is that they're, you know, we're doing pre-scout and they're really making the adjustments that we asked to be made. And I think that just continuing to do that and grow on that is going to help us.
Awesome, Coach. Great game. We're going to take a quick break here and be right back with Victoria Kennedy. Stick around.
The he should have had that. And the tears that linger. For in those moments, greatness lies. There, you will find the provoked, the determined, the unified. It's in those moments that champions are born.
I'm the first undergraduate alumnus to lead this university. I'm very proud of that. I was literally able to transform my life because of the University of Massachusetts, and I want that for every single student that walks through the door.
All right, folks, we're here. Victoria Kennedy, you have just enough energy left to do one more interview, right? And then it's bedtime?
Yeah.
After that performance. 42 saves, that's a career high. Walk us through what it was like. I mean, you just seemed to be so in the zone today. There's really nothing that was getting by you. I know the last one, obviously, but what was it like mentally being in a game like that?
Mentally, I think it starts the night before. I was locked in. You always hear about Elmira, how good Elmira is. So I think it was just, I thought I had nothing to lose, so I went out there and stayed focused.
Clearly. Some of those saves, we had no idea how you were making them time after time. What was going on in the locker room? And a 0-0 hockey game like that, right, as the game goes on, there's like this fear that you're going to make a mistake and you don't want to be that player that gives it up. How are you guys staying mentally prepared in the locker room in between periods?
I think we all just have trust in each other. We all support each other. So there's a lot of talk, like, we're in this game, like, just go out there and give it everything we have. I mean, we rolled off a really big win last night, and I thought we finally came together and clicked. And we were just like, let's give it all. We're playing Elmira. We know we're playing Elmira.
It was apparent. I mean, it was a really solid effort, I thought, from really everyone. And we take it tonight, obviously, not the outcome we wanted, but still a strong effort. We've got Codfish coming up next weekend. What's going to be the mentality to take what we learned tonight and carry it over a week from tonight?
I think we just know what we're capable of. I mean, that was an amazing game from start to finish, and I think we have a really good chance of winning the Codfish.
I'd love to hear it. We'll get another year up on that banner. But thanks for joining us, and good luck next weekend.
Thank you.
We'll be back after this.
Cheer for the stumbles. The he shoulda had that's. And the tears that linger. For in those moments, greatness lies. There, you will find the provoked, the determined, the unified. It's in those moments that champions are born.
And there you have it, everybody. You heard from head coach Blanchard. You heard from about as happy as you can be after losing Victoria Kennedy there. 42 saves. That's a career high for her. And a very promising start to, again, it's like you see sophomore, but you also know this is basically her freshman year.
Yeah, without a doubt. I like what she said. You know, the team is clicking. It was obvious tonight. You know, they came out 3 periods, trusting each other. It was shift after shift, right? It was constant following up. You know, you got one good shift, and then I think on Friday night it was like, all right, it kind of dissipated. Tonight it was continuous. They were there for 3 periods. That game was as close as it could get.
We're going to say a quick thank you to our production team, to Allie Crawford, Tam Landry, producing and directing respectively. Matt, thank you for calling this game with me. This was absolutely awesome. We have got Gina Albano on Instant Replay, and Maria Spilios, Elsa Vinaco, and Lauren Bethea operating our cameras and making sure we're coming through all nice and clean. Once again, the final score from the Edward T. Berry Ice Rink on the campus of UMass Boston. Elmira College takes this one 1-0 over UMass Boston in overtime. 2 points for the Eagles, 1 for the Beacons. For Matt Meisenbacher and all of us here at UMass Boston, I'm Milton Posner. Thank you so